Good. Yeah.
They're still, they just, it's funny, the way they do the layoffs down here, they announce the big number, 28,000. And then what happens is as they actually lay people off, it's like the death of 1,000 cuts.
Oh,
Yeah.
Like another 500 a day, another 1,000 a day. And you're like, but are these new or are these still, it's still the 28,000. We didn't hit that.
it's still the 28. They're just getting to the numbers now.
Yeah, we're just going to get there slowly. And then everyone's like, oh, that means I could still be laid off?
Yeah.
That sucks.
Yeah. Good luck.
You're pretty safe though, Dan, aren't you? I mean,
Yeah, the layoffs are in parks and I don't work in parks.
I got you. Okay.
For
I was
now.
gonna say you're pretty high up there. I mean, you control a lot of them.
Well,
A lot of
yeah, the funny
business.
thing is my team is the one that actually figures out who's going to get laid off.
Oh no.
So we know we don't get laid off in the first group, but then sometimes when you're done, they're like, good job, now you're laid off.
Now you're gone, right?
Yeah. Thanks for getting rid of all those people. Now you can see yourself out there.
Going on.
Oh, the joys of HR.
Here's your box.
Yeah.
Having been the last guy out the door, I feel your pain. It's happened to me more than once.
I got a TV off of it.
That's true. You did, didn't you? That's a true story.
That's a true story.
Let me send a thing to Matt real quick here.
Yeah, we need a paladin.
Okay, so I have a fun layoff story. I worked for a company. I worked for a company for 8 years and I got laid off. Didn't see it coming, but that's not that big a deal. Title, that happens all the time.
Right.
So I go and I end up getting another job, and I get a job with First American Title. And I've been there for about a month when I find out that the reason that I got laid off from my prior job is because they were selling themselves to First American Title. and now that I work there, they want me, because I know the system for the other company, to help them with the integration. And I was like, how do I spell FU in a very professional manner on the email?
Well, yeah, you hear those horror stories about people having to train their own replacements and stuff. I used to work pretty closely with a lot of IT guys, and it just seems like it's the norm rather than the exception, where when you get announced layoff and then you have to spend the rest of your last 2 weeks on the phone with somebody from India,
Training the guy. Yep.
teaching them how to do what you do. And it's just like, why would you do that? I mean, everybody complains about, immigrants are taking our jobs. No, they're selling our jobs to guys in China and India because they can get them for, they can get bodies over there for a third of the price.
And you do that because you want the extra 2 weeks paycheck and the severance package.
Right, exactly, which they will withhold on your ass. Is just honestly, and I don't condone shooting people who do that, but I understand it.
Now, when I worked at Gen America, I think I got bought by MetLife. MetLife avoided that by firing people and then asking, what did they do?
That's a great.
Over and over again.
Well, they were liquidating a St. Louis office one time, and they basically sent everybody out here and said, hey, we're liquidating this office, this agency office, and we're going to do it on this particular day, 60 days from now. And so we'll all transition your accounts over to New York and all this stuff. Well, by day 30, out of 15 people, there was literally like one person left. Everybody just bailed, and they were like, oh, what do we? Nothing was fixed. Nothing was. Yeah, exactly. I'm like, you telegraph that you're firing these people who have a very rare skill that's in demand, and you expect them to hang out till the last day so that they can do all these nice things for you. No, they're not. Good.
I know.
So they're like, can we get some help? And everybody was like, really? No, sorry. We don't work here anymore. So
another MetLife story and everything is, this is back in 1999 when IT jobs were readily available, basically.
Mm-hmm.
They had 2 different meetings. And if you were in one meeting, you were let go. If you were in another meeting, you're like, good work. You're staying here.
Oh.
MetLife was very surprised that the people that were let go were happier than the people that had to stay and work.
What a terrible way to do it. That's like the showers at a concentration camp.
I know. Yeah.
It's like, everybody who's not getting fired, step forward. Not too fast, you guys. That's brutal. But I mean, at some point you got, I mean, I totally see how people who are like 3 or 4 steps removed from the actual work that's being done, just it's a numbers game. I've worked with, I worked with
It's a numbers
financials.
game.
Yeah, it's a numbers game, and I had a boss once say, you've got to improve your margins on these accounts, and I said, all right, how do I do it? What about costs? I can trim costs in areas. He's like, well, your office costs are fixed per person. Your office space costs are fixed per person. You can't really do that. You can, everybody has a certain, pay pack. Their, benefits are fixed. You can't do that. And I'm like, wait a second. So how many options do I have? And out of like 8 different things, I had 2 options to improve margin: raise revenue or reduce personnel. And I said, look, I'm not in charge of raising revenue. This is a fixed contract for the next 5 years. I go, I can't go back to these guys and say, hey, my little department that's, of this much bigger organization needs more money. They're going to laugh me out of the room. He's like, uh-huh. And I'm like, all right, fine. It's reduced personnel. So I wrote a presentation, which is basically I was trying to scare them as to what would happen if I did the cuts that they said that they needed to improve the margins to the point where they needed margins with all the existing things. And it was supposed to be, and I was full of like, we're killing this, we're removing these people, we're not going to give these services, we're not going to give those services, all these, and it was supposed to be a wake-up call for these guys to say, hey, look, figure it out some other way or go back to the margin. I gave that presentation, and the next day my boss called me up and said, okay, when do we implement? And I was like, are you kidding? This was to scare you. This was to scare you away from doing this, because this was the horror story. He's like, no, we got to do it, man. I'm like, I will never understand, when these demands come down on high from guys who make bazillions of dollars, and they're like, we need to extract an extra % out of these people. They don't realize that that these are actual people with actual jobs who've been busting their humps for these guys, and it's just nothing. Cut them like thatch in the weeds.
What was the one movie, Mr. Mom or something like that? Keaton got laid off and had to
be Mr. Mom.
Was it Mr. Mom?
Hey guys.
Yeah, that's one.
When his old boss comes and talks to him, he's like, listen, this is what you did. And it's exactly what Les was talking about. Yep. It's like you've cut the margins to the bone, and you wonder why your revenue is down.
Right. You can't. And I've heard somebody, one of my old CEOs once said this, and I thought it was very wise. He's like, you cannot cut yourself to profitability. Right. It never works. You just end up hurting yourself. You have to revenue yourself to profitability, and you can't do that with a skeleton crew. If you couldn't do it with a full crew, you can't do it with a skeleton crew. So. Yeah, that's the only way. If you want profitability and you can't get it, you have to grow revenue. You can't cut your way to it. Never works. Matt will tell you that right there.
Yeah, the amount of rooms I'm in where there's like a 30-person conference room table and 18 people are SVPs with no portfolio, just sitting around soaking up paychecks. Like, what is it you do all day? SVP crew?
Not much.
Like, we're gonna be from conference room to conference room all day. That's our job.
You heard the story about when Group M was buying Ogilvy, and how Group M lost their frickin' minds because the parent company had basically set aside like $30 million, and the idea was that these were for pay packages and severance packages for all of those SVPs that Matt's talking about. All these people that have been there for 40 years, they do nothing anymore. They're pulling down big wages. They're like, take this 40 million, get rid of these guys, promote some guys in house, and let's restart some things. They did. I think what I heard it was when they came around to buy, it was like 2 years later, 3 of those people had taken packages, and they were all in their 60s and were going to retire anyway.
Yeah.
And it was just like, and they were just sitting on the like $38 million.
I many times I'm in an office space type of meeting where I'm staring at somebody just sitting there, and I'm like, so what is it you say you do here?
It's brutal.
I'm good with the client.
Yeah, which is a great skill to have, and I have that skill. But you got to be able to put some legs on it too.
Yeah, but if there's 6 other lesses at the table, we just need one less.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. There can be only one less.
You only need one.
Hey, did you see what I sent you, your tiny Batman? The video I sent you to your tiny Batman. If I tweeted correctly, because I don't know what the hell I'm doing with the tweeters.
Oh wait, I haven't looked. I only have it open, and usually
it's Tiny Batman Says, right?
tinybatmansays.com or on Twitter, yeah, at tinybatmansays. Where let's
Yeah.
see if this worked. I don't see it.
All
Did you
right.
reply to a Twitter?
No,
a
no,
tweet?
I'll send it to you in the link here. It's not important. I didn't mean to disrupt the game. I'll find it.
All
I
right.
just thought you all would appreciate it there.
How was everybody's Halloween?
Solid. Not
Exactly
a
like
single
every other
trick or treater
day.
came to the door.
Yeah, no
You
trick
didn't-
or treaters.
I
No
only
trick or
had to
treat?
take the kids to about half the houses because half of them were closed.
Yeah, last year we had 800
had a-
trick or treaters, and this year we had maybe 40. But
Oh,
we also just
no.
left candy on the porch and hid inside. We didn't go out.
Okay.
So we normally have like 9 kids stop by our house. So last year, when it was even normal, and again this year, we made up bags and I took them across the street for the 3 girls over there, and then
That's
next
nice.
door for the 3 little ones next door.
Mhm.
So,
That's nice. So they got little bags and stuff.
yep.
That's nice.
And we
That
said
is
we're done.
nice. Well, I went out there and we put I bought a ton of candy, put it on a big bowl at the end of the driveway, and then sat out there with my laptop working on stuff, and in the cold. But we had a fair amount. We had one people are like, your cul-de-sac is like the most popular one because there's nobody else is open. And like
Yeah.
5 out of 6 of my neighbors all had candy out. So
Yeah.
people were pulling in their cars, and the kids would like jump out.
Run
they would
through
go
the
to-
ring.
They would go through all the houses, and then we'd jump back in the car and drive off.
Yeah, I was like, I mean, we're in a raising pandemic again. I'm seeing so many people out there with no masks on, congregating together. Like, no. But I didn't want to do no candy either and be the Scrooge on the block who didn't do anything. So
No, it's free candy day for kids. You gotta.
That's
Yeah.
how you get TP'd like the next day.
Yeah,
yeah,
no
exactly.
kidding.
I on our Ring camera, like I left a full bowl around 9:45, and it was full. When I woke up this morning, it was gone. I'm like, who picked it up at 9:45? So I was scrolling through it at 8 or 11:58 p.m. Some 2 like tweens came by and just
Took all
emptied
of
the
it.
bowl. Yeah,
Load it up. Nice.
that was like school.
Did anybody hear how Andrew did with COVID?
No.
When I talked to him, he was feeling better. So it was actually, at least to hear him say it, it was pretty mild. Within a couple of days, he was feeling like he was on the mend. So I texted him like 3 or 4 days later just to see how he was doing, and he said he was doing fine. He was on the mend, up and around, and he didn't hit his heart. So I think he's okay. So Dan, where were you last night? Were you at a Halloween party drinking the champagne smoothies?
I had a few friends over. It wasn't a big deal. Like Rob and his family came over.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
So it was just a small thing. And I did some
Nice.
barbecue and stuff.
Nice.
There's
What? I think Matt froze. Oh yeah, that's frozen Matt right
Good
there.
job of faking it.
Yeah, no kidding.
Let's
Matt-
add my character while we're waiting.
No.
what's that? What'd you
Well,
say,
I don't
Les?
think we're going to be staying here. So, yeah, let's talk about what happened last time. So, a lot of interesting things. I think a couple of things was we just get Gatto on the bump. So it's a fair amount of. So, on one hand, there was a little bit of shopping went down, which was good, and a little bit of treasure wrangling. More discussions as to what to do next. And there was a lot of talk about, we need to find Jesker Helton and we need to find Sivar. And that information keeps coming in. And then there was a meeting with a creature that had an interesting proposition. And I don't know, if you guys want to basically fill in, Don, as to what happened?
They told me they sold me into slavery already.
Well,
Yes. So that was in response to your many transgressions.
Actually, you brokered the deal, Gatto. But we gave you the commission.
The money was good.
Couldn't pass it
All
up.
10 gold pieces of it.
Yeah. Like
Gold
Gatto,
pieces.
a flash art can't do it. You're gonna have to sell yourself. I'm sorry.
Why?
No,
Why do you want to be my slave?
so while we got a call from somebody, another demonic heavy hitter, who seems half fae, half demon, whose name escapes me at the moment.
It escapes me at a moment too. So hold on just a second. It's
Well, he's an assassin.
Nazarius.
Oh, Nazarius. So
Assassin.
he basically invited us to a demonic bistro to
Is that
have
this
a
guy
little,
here?
No, it's a different map.
No,
so
we're not on this screen.
Yeah.
we'll get to this in a minute.
Okay.
He invited us to a demonic bistro for a sit down, like mob style, where we sat down and had a little espressos and talked about you know, his information and how he could help put us take down Monago, but it's going to cost us a little
Couple magic items.
couple of magic items, basically saying you can take her out, but you have to leave the items I want at her house behind.
But basically, his angle was, I was paid to take you guys out, and you guys are way too tough for the amount of money I was given. So, not
Right.
good.
So, but and then this is where you come in, Gatto. The house where she lives
That's where you come in.
is gonna need a little burglarizing. We're gonna need a little security expert. And apparently, it's a living being as a house. So
Okay.
yeah. So, and then we had to consult the Paladin book of what you can and can't do for Paladin burglary. Apparently, if it's an old dusty tomb, totally legit. If somebody still lives there, it's not right of the not of the Paladin code of ethics.
Totally legit.
Mhm.
Illendar was there with a lot of whiteout.
Yeah, I keep seeing Goofus and Gallant every time now. So I think that's where we left off with Monago's.
So yeah, basically Nazaria said, look, I was hired, but Monago knows you guys are in town. She's been scoping you out.
I'll take one of my. Sorry about that.
That's okay. So she's been scoping you out, and she hired me to essentially assassinate you guys and take you out. He goes, but she goes, she offered me a certain amount of money, which normally would be satisfactory. However, I've been scoping you guys out, and I realize that you're much tougher customers than Monago would let on. The intelligence that she gave me about you and the stuff differed widely from the stuff that I have since figured out about you guys. So he goes, he basically is like, I sensed an opportunity. Monago used to be a rising star in this town. Now her star is waning. She's obviously irritated some very important people. And she's always had a couple of things that I have coveted. So I'll cut you a deal. I know you guys want her. I know you guys want to take her out. I will give you her location in exchange for you letting me go in after you guys are done and retrieve a couple of items that I personally I'm interested in. Any other incidental stuff you guys can keep, but these two things I want, and that's my price in exchange for letting you know where she lives.
These two things.
Two things.
Okay.
Two evil magic items is what we're assuming.
Yeah. And I don't know if did he describe them?
Yeah. Has he told you what they are?
Okay, I can't remember it.
Yeah, we got the descriptions of what they are.
Okay.
Because otherwise, how would we know to leave them behind?
Right. Exactly. Do you remember what I said?
I don't remember what he said. What were that?
I have to check the video.
To be honest, I don't.
Okay, I'll check the video. I'll get that.
I zoned out because I was consulting Demonic Zillow to see what I could get for a summer rental in Alushinyrra for a living condo.
It's an Airbnb in Alushinyrra.
Yeah. Guys, we can make a killing down here.
All the Airbnbs in Alushinyrra are fakes. That's how they work. So you guys, there was a little bit of back and forth, and a little bit of moral and ethical consternation as to the balance of making a deal with a Fey demon that's going to assassinate them versus the opportunity to kill Monago. But overall, killing Monago won. So basically, Nazarius gave you guys the location in the city of the house and explained to you that it is a living creature that she lives in, so that you guys can be prepared to, you guys aren't surprised when you guys roll up on it.
Did we find out what kind of creature it is? Like a giant Teddy Ruxpin or?
It's no kind of creature that you would have been familiar with in the prime material plane. It is not. Okay. It's not found in the prime material plane. Honestly, I don't think Nazarius knows what kind of creature it is. It's just
we're adding this to our list of creatures we're taking back. If I'm taking back a big flying whale, I'm getting one of these guys too.
I am very curious how you're going to get a flying whale, because you could probably, this is a commercial city. You could probably buy one.
How do you get it back?
Dude.
You could probably buy a gate spell too.
Think of my paladins riding into battle on flying whales. Yeah, you turn
that's going to be the most amazing homecoming when we get back and we show up in a flying whale.
Can you imagine those poor dwarves at Drezen, sort of man in the battlements going, alert, a big flying whale is coming inbound.
Imagine the report on that. The guy inside the castle gets a knock on the door. Sir,
we might have a problem.
You're going to have to see this. What's going on, sir?
We're
There's flying whales coming
It's a
at us.
flying whale.
If we get it
We're not-
back,
This
Knock
sounds
off
like
the
an old
alcohol.
Bob Newhart skit.
yeah,
Friend or foe.
Yeah.
Les, if we do get it back somehow, you're gonna have a new soundbite of Ride of the Valkyries because we're
Oh yeah,
gonna come in like Apocalypse Now every mission.
it'll be Whale of the Valkyries.
With whale song, yep.
Yeah, I love the smell of whale in the
I
morning.
love the smell of whale blubber in the morning. Smells like scaring the shit out of dwarves at Drezen. All right, so that deal brokered. You guys got onto Monago's house, and the interesting thing is not only do you have, I mean, so obviously, Flashheart wants to get revenge for Yaniel, and only barely saving her in the refinery, and the fact that Monago was using her as sort of bait to sort of screw everybody up. There's a little bit of payback there, but also from a purely practical sense, Monago is a very well-known personage in this city. She, as Nazarius told you, she's very well connected. She has the ear of, or had the ear of, very powerful, I don't want to say archdemons, but certainly the people who, several of the bigger demons who are in charge of the World Wound operation and all that kind of stuff. Killing her would get you guys attention, attention from the right sources. I mean, you still have to figure out how to get Nocticula's attention. Killing Monago could do that itself. If you guys are tough enough to knock off this very well-connected and very powerful demon, and then you immediately follow up with, please, Nocticula, may we have a quick audience with you. We want to talk with you about something. That will get her attention, almost certainly. How she responds is up to the whims of your obviously drunken DM. But
So
that's a path for later.
So we need to have this happen like at the beginning of the night.
Beginning of the night, yep.
So it's the second half of the night. We're like, you know what? We're just gonna screw around for the next couple hours.
Actually, you know what? I don't know if you guys saw this, but I do sometimes tend to drink a little bit too much on game night. So
wait, when did that happen?
we haven't noticed
I
that.
don't know. Maybe it was subtle, but I've watched. Sometimes I go back and review those videos, and I'm just like, oh god. Or I'm like, so anyway, you're about to be. So I have been curtailing a bit. So as you can see, the old Diet Coke. Even on Saturday nights, I've been keeping the Coke until after the game's over.
Is that the nights where we get the Ask Me Anything discussions?
Yes.
Sometimes, yeah.
I'll tell you everything about the game right now.
I'll tell you everything you want to know.
I'm
I
gonna
love
pull
those.
back
But
the
you know what?
curtain.
I love those nights. And there's another thing that I want to propose to you guys too, while I'm thinking of it, is I saw this on the internet and I thought it was really great. Basically, a guy said, look, I've got this homebrew campaign of mine. It's not, how homebrew campaigns are. They're not 100% fleshed out all the time. And a lot of this, especially Alushinyrra, is homebrewed to a certain extent. I've taken a lot of license with the very thin material provided with the adventure path. So what he did was, and I really like this, is he said, basically, you can ask me anything about the setting, the Alushinyrra or the Golarion or the World Wound or anything like that, and I will answer every question, and that answer becomes canon for the system. So any question that you guys wanted to ask me about Alushinyrra or anything like that, I'll answer, and it becomes real.
Okay, so that part we want to actually do at the end of the night once you've been drinking.
Yeah.
You said the streets are paved with gold, right?
I've been cutting back, so try to keep my my head in the game and not sort of go berserk.
Your edge.
Yeah.
One of my friends who plays D&D on Saturdays posted a picture of her. That dungeon master costume that's going around. Like it was like a Halloween costume.
You're not gonna
She's
ask
like,
me to wear that, are you?
No, but their DM warned. She's like, look, he's so committed, he even shaved his head to make it look like the costume. And I'm like, yeah, no dice. Our GM shaved his head for years before it was cool.
Just for this.
I did.
Yeah.
It's not cool now, frankly, as far as I can tell. So I'm working
cool.
on it.
When Jean-Luc made it cool, it was always cool.
All right. Anyway, so that's Monago's place. So you know the location, you know it's a creature, you know that she's there, you know that she's aware you guys are in the city and that she's making moves to sort of counter you, or basically she wants you dead. This guy says, he's like, I could keep up the illusion that I'm still hunting you guys for a while, but at some point she's gonna get onto it, and she's either going to find other interested parties who are willing to take that money and try to get you guys off, or get you guys. I gotta stop. Try and get you guys assassinated, or she's gonna take it into her own hands. So there's a clock. There's a boom clock on this. All right. And so after that meeting, you guys went to, so you had gotten some information from Felipe about the locations of potential locations of both Sivar and Jesker Helton. And all that information came, and so Lothar sort of said, I think we should go and check these out. And you guys moved on the first one. So the one you guys went to was a place that where newly embodied souls are essentially re-sleeved and sold in groups for manual labor and things of that nature. And so this location that you're here right now is the place that Felipe found out where there was some indication from a paperwork standpoint that it's possible that Helton was brought here. You guys came in under the guise of purchasers. You actually said, we want this specific guy, and they brought out a dretch. And they said, yeah, this is the guy. We re-sleeved him for you. This is his body. And the Jawas brought him out, and basically you guys paid, I think it was 258.5 gold pieces, I think was the price. Somehow that number is still in my head.
Alushinyrra gold pieces?
Alushinyrra gold pieces and AGP. And so now you got, and then you guys and they were like, can we interest you in anything else? And they were introduced you to the boss, who was this like green blob creature sitting on a throne and eating these flayed bodies that had been brought to him by some of the Jawas on a cart. So he was munchitating on that, very gross. But they were like, "Here you go. This is the guy, and we're happy to broker him." So now you are slaveholders.
I had nothing to do with that.
Holders with intent to release.
Well, so at the end of last,
I had nothing to do with that either.
So at the end of last time, there was a fair amount of discussion about what to do with Jesker now that you've got him, right? If this is indeed, so at this point, you got a couple of questions. One, is this indeed Jesker Helton, and how do you determine that? Two, the second question is, if it is him, and if the paperwork is correct and everything, and Felipe's information was solid and everything right, this is probably him. How do you achieve, I guess, for lack of a better term, the ask that Erastil posed to Lothar with regard to Jesker, which was, he's basically, and Chuck, correct me if I'm wrong, but basically Erastil said, look, he was your responsibility. It's your responsibility to go get him and bring him back.
Yes.
And I think that was the bulk of the instructions right there. As deities are prone to do, they tend to leave out a lot of the details.
Yeah.
So there's a point of like, what do you do with him now that you've got him?
Well,
and that's kind of where we begin tonight.
Yeah, we can't take him into the hotel because he's currently in the body of a demon.
Yep.
Or even if it's a minor one, it can't go into the hotel.
Can't pass through the portals.
So I have access to some cleric spells that will allow me to ask questions to determine if it is in fact the person that we're looking for. But then the next question is, how do we get the soul of Jesker Helton out of this dretch?
That's the easy part.
Well, that doesn't sound like the easy part to me. So if the wizards want to step up, then that'd be fantastic.
You kill this
Killing
dretch.
it gets the soul out. Whether or not that's what you want to do is,
right.
is what
Yeah,
you want to
getting the
find
soul
out.
out is easy. You just kill the dretch, and the soul's free. Now, what you want to do with it afterwards, or how you want it to end up, that's a whole different thing.
Yeah, so I guess at this point, now I also have the ability to go back to the primaterial plane.
Yeah, we talked about the fact that you could use plane shift, and then if you take
the dretch
Bardo with you and the dretch, then Bardo could teleport you to where you want to go.
and then
You guys would probably, unless you could do enough spells, you probably have to wait till the next day to come back.
Yeah.
right.
before you kill the dretch on the prime material plane, I would ask your God what's going to happen to that soul.
We talked a fair amount about that last time, didn't we?
Because if you kill a demon in the abyss, it's dead. So you don't want to take the soul of a prime material person on the prime material plane in and kill him, because then he's dead, isn't he?
Well, the idea is, so the way it was discussed last time was this might be an end around to returning Jesker Helton to Erastil, right? So if you kill him on the prime material plane, he goes to Pharasma, he is judged, Erastil lays claim to this particular spirit and says, all right, this one is mine, I'm taking him, and he goes to whatever Erastil has as far as, whatever afterlife is part of that.
But at the same time, if we do it in the presence of his original body, which has been held in stasis,
right,
and then I do the raise dead, the soul should go back to the body.
That's correct.
Yes, and that will bring him back alive.
Yes, which
On
is
the front, yeah.
which is from what I understand is what I'm supposed to do. I mean, the idea of just releasing the soul from the dredge and letting it go to where it's supposed to go, that sounds lovely, but I don't think that's the goal.
Okay.
Because what I was told was that
So when do you want me to kill him? I mean,
Hey, Eric, welcome.
Hey guys.
he wanted Jesker back, and my understanding of that was in his original alive prime material plane form.
I don't think there's anybody here better than Lothar to interpret the desires of Erastil.
Right. And then just from a metagaming standpoint, there's no rules that accommodate what we're wanting to do. So this is 100% unless if there's a way to just take the soul straight from the dretch to his body or what.
Okay, so this is an 11:45 action.
Yeah. Okay, Les, let's drink up.
No. Guys, I'm not getting schnapped tonight.
And I mean, I was thinking, I know that there's some, because obviously it's happened to at least one member of our party. I know that there are magic user spells that can take the soul from whatever vessel it's in and put it in a different vessel.
Sure, magic jar.
Yeah, magic jar has to do with the soul of the caster changing places, and that doesn't seem to work. It's not, I read that spell.
Okay.
And it does not seem to give you the ability to suck the soul out of a dredge and put it into a jar, into a gem, just as that being the only action. And then having that gem, which then you can carry around or keep safe, and we don't have to go back to the prime right now to finish this. We could just do it, as it becomes convenient.
Yeah, there are creatures that have that ability, but not spells that I know of that can do that.
So at this point, for me, or for Lothar anyway, it seems like we have what we think is the soul of Jesker Helton in the body of this dretch.
Mm-hmm.
So he needs to get that back to the prime material plane, to the preserved body of Jesker Helton, and try to do the kill the dretch, release the soul, raise the dead priest type thing sooner rather than later.
So if we're going to do that, and there's lots to do, is that something that we all need to just somehow figure out how to get us all back there, do this?
Well, that's what I was going to ask is if these 2 or 3 people go to do that, can the rest of us be doing something to gain reputation?
I don't like the idea of fighting without my healer.
True.
Come on, what do you got to lose?
We are pretty nasty, and we do have the Fletcher-o-matic, but we do get hurt on a regular basis, and that will slow down our killing.
And a split party is a DM's dream.
Uh-huh.
I do have a few potions of healing, but nothing to speak
You got a
of.
paladin, he can heal.
He can heal.
Yeah.
But he can't heal that much. And usually we rely on him to be one of our frontline fighters.
Well, there is that.
Well, okay, so if the fight though is in like an arena where we know it's just these combatants going for for whatever.
I didn't say you did.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Did you guys hear that?
Yes.
Wow.
Let that be a lesson to you.
She's going to be embarrassed when I bring that up.
And we got it all on tape.
So I mean, if we're in an arena where 2 or 3 of us are going to fight 2 or 3 of them, there's not going to be healing during that anyway.
It's a good point. And one of the things that you guys have not done yet that was proposed as a way to gain notoriety was to fight in the local arenas. You guys did a little research and learned about Gelderfang, who is apparently the city champion. But beyond that, I mean, you don't know much about.
If we do it,
there's more than one arena in this town.
If we do it and Storm is one of them, we can't permanently lose Storm. Wouldn't be my first choice, but it's a safer thing. Because if she ever dies, I just can't summon the rest of that day. I can't till the next day.
Right.
Like I said, that's metagame speaking. Illendar would not be offering that as, here, let's go kill my Eidolon. That'd be great.
At least the Storm's head just like, what?
Well, the goal would be for the Eidolon to win.
Right.
Fletcher, by the way, is starting to miss the combat, so he's probably raising his hand every time you bring
I
it
love Matt's new picture.
This is what I wore to our corporate call on Friday. My son's hot dog costume when he was 5 years old.
So yeah, if Fletcher is the best death dealer we've got, with Storm being probably the best tank, those two would be a pretty good combo.
Yeah.
To fight in a tag team thing.
Absolutely.
Then, like I said, then we just have to worry about keeping Fletcher alive.
Ha! Ah, says Fletcher.
Fletcher's fine.
I think Fletcher and I could do, like go pretty well back to back in any arena and come out on top. But if we could avoid the we could avoid critical failures out for a period of time. I think we're pretty much Cuisinarts. Fletcher being more so than I, but unless Storm wants to go in there and we just keep healing her.
The person you're fighting will probably be evil.
Yeah.
Right.
So smiting would be a good thing.
Which actually brings you probably up on par with Fletcher's damage dealing.
I agree.
Yeah.
Do a little of this, a little of that. You're good to go.
Yeah.
I love Les's facial expressions every time you do one of your signals.
I have no idea what he's talking about.
I don't even want to know.
So
it was detect evil, smite evil, and
new weapon.
celestial bond with your weapon.
Yeah, that's not what that looks like.
That's not
Yeah,
what
that
looks
one's the
like.
bad one.
Oh no, that's the bad one. I know.
That might be a celestial bond with your weapon. But
So yeah,
paladins of my deity don't bond that way.
yeah. So we got two options. One is just all of us go back home. We take care of the spirit, get that back to where it needs to be, and then we all come back and do whatever. Because I mean, from a metagaming standpoint, we have to do these one at a time anyway, so it doesn't really matter if everyone's back or everyone's here or we're split.
Yeah.
We have to take care of one thing and then we take care of the other.
just out of curiosity, why do we have to do that now? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, Jennifer. Can we just put him on ice at the hotel?
We can't get him into the hotel because they don't allow demons in the hotel. And I don't think he's going to last very long on a leash outside the front door.
Just tied to a fire hydrant out there.
Yeah. They probably got demon, decency laws and stuff, demon abuse laws.
Yeah, there's like,
violating.
he's not a dog.
Demon abuse laws. This demon hasn't been beaten in that day.
Yeah.
I can just see you guys like tying him up to some sort of like, like a light pole or something outside. Stay.
Yeah.
Okay.
From the pile of
Good
bones
dretch.
around. Yeah.
And obviously, first I need to cast divination.
Right. Yeah, you definitely need to find out if this is him.
Right.
And then if it is, then we go from there.
So magic, I was just looking at magic jar, and it could work. Basically, so you have it's essentially like the fox, the rabbit, and the the gorilla problem where you're trying to get everybody across the river at the same time.
Or grain.
I don't remember the gorilla, but yeah.
I don't know.
The grill.
Fox, rabbit, and
With a
velociraptor.
G.
So, but it says, so you have a gem. So it's basically what you do is when you do a magic jar, you have 2 creatures and a gem. And when you as one of the creatures, when the wizard casts a magic jar, you put your soul goes into the gem. At that point, that being in the gem allows you to try and take over creature 2, which forces creature 2's soul into the gem, but you're in creature 2's body and your body is lifeless. It's sort of just sitting there. The spell ends when you send your soul back to your own body, which means you can determine when you send yourself back. You can leave body 2 and go back to original body, and then that leaves body 2 open, and the spirit, which is in the gem, automatically goes back.
So you just have to allow us to modify the spell a bit to not be just caster related, but also
Oh, good. I can do that.
also other spirit related.
Right. Because see,
But
the
yeah, you
problem
want to
is,
introduce body 3.
Right.
well,
So like I
no,
said,
no,
it'll be a modified version of that spell, but
no, there's no introduction of body 3.
Yeah, but
It's
you would
when the caster goes back to his own body. It's being able to leave the spirit that you took from body 1 in the gem, as opposed to having it go back.
The only way I think that you can do that is by destroying body 2. But you have to do it right at this exact same time that the wizard leaves body 2 and goes back into body 1, which you can do. So if you could, you could coordinate that. So basically what you're saying, you've got, after the magic jar spells run, you've got wizard in body 2, spirit in the gem. If you let's assume that you're in body 2. So you're in the body of the Dretch, whereas Jesker's in the body of the stone. If you can arrange it with the rest of the party so that when you transfer back to your own body, at that moment, they completely destroy the Dretch body somehow. Disintegrate spell is the easiest way, but there's probably other ways to do it. They destroy the Dretch body. Jesker has nowhere to go back to, and it's not his original body either, but I guess he would still go back to it. So then he's stuck, right? Because he doesn't have a body to go back to. That's kind of how Bardos' body got stolen.
Wait, what happened to the gorilla again?
His part in this story is over. But
See,
yeah, so if you destroyed that, then you would have Jesker trapped in the stone.
Yeah,
and
I
there's
think
no way to get that out of there with canon spells.
Yeah, it'd be
It would
better.
be
It'd be better to let him go back to the Dretch, and then you can kill the Dretch in a place, on the prime plane.
but then you're back to, you wouldn't have had to cast the spell to begin with. If I just take the Dretch and whoever I need to teleport for however far I miss Castle Drezen when I world walk, you kill the Dretch, it frees the spirit, you raise dead on the preserved body of Jesker, and you're good. You don't need the magic jar spell. It just
Right. So I mean,
That's
True.
I'm not
it's
sure
redundant.
why we're talking about the magic jar. Yeah, because
I say we let Chuck do his divination spell first, because this is all moot if this isn't him.
Yeah, if that's not the right guy.
Well, so another thing about teleport is interplanar teleports are not possible.
No,
No, I
that's why
would.
you use plane shift
Right,
to
plane
get to
shift
the
for
right
that.
plane,
Right.
but it doesn't pinpoint.
Oh,
you
and then you would
exactly where
teleport. Yeah,
go.
you would teleport
Right.
back to
And then
Drezen
you
from
use
there.
you
teleport.
have to use both spells.
I get you.
Yeah, because plane shift allows you to get to within like 100 miles of whatever location you're after,
Right.
based on a die roll. And
Yeah,
so,
but that's a big.
exactly. That's
yeah,
why
it's a
you
big
take.
circle.
That's why you take the wizard, who can do then a pinpoint teleport to take you right back to Castle Drezen. Hopefully
Okay.
not by way of the moat like we got into here.
Right. Good point. Well, you
Let's
shut
do
that
the-
one down.
Let's do the divination stuff then.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. So I'm looking at similar to augury. A divination spell provides you with a useful piece of advice in reply to a question concerning a specific goal, event, or activity that is occur in 1 week. The advice granted by the spell can be as simple as a short phrase or a cryptic rhyme or poem, or an omen. If your party doesn't act on the information, the conditions may change. Base chance for correct divination is 70% plus 1% per caster level to a maximum of 90. If the die roll fails, you know the spell failed. Unless
Yeah.
specific magic yielding false information is at work. So it wouldn't give you a lie. It would just not work
Well,
if you miss the percentage.
yeah, whatever it tells you, you would know that you missed, right? So it doesn't matter if it lies to you.
Yeah.
You'd
Right.
know that you failed, so you wouldn't trust the information.
Right, but yeah, I mean, it would in this case, I wouldn't lie to you about it.
Right.
Well, maybe I would. No,
Yeah, you would.
maybe no. All right, so you want to go ahead and cast that spell?
Yeah. So the question is fairly straightforward: is the soul that is currently residing in this stretch that of Jesker Helton?
Yes, the priest of Erastil, Jesker Helton, is inside the dretch.
Okay. So I
Oh
will
wait,
let-
roll the roll. Shit, I gave it away
well,
before you
it's kind
rolled.
of too late now. Isn't
Look,
it?
we rolled low.
Damn.
So
So I got so excited, for the divinations. Yeah, no, you're fine.
I did it properly anyway. So
Yep. So yeah, yes, it is him.
okay. So at this point, we can't take him back to the hotel because he's currently stuck in the body of a dretch.
Right.
But I am prepared at this point to plane shift back to the prime material.
Okay.
With whomever needs to go with me, the magic user who can cast teleport, basically, or all of us. It doesn't matter because I think at my level with plane shift, I'm pretty sure I can take everybody.
I can only teleport 3 creatures with me.
So yeah, so his teleport.
But
is
we
the
can do the
limitation.
whole portable whole thing.
Yeah.
Worked
Yeah,
out
let's-
last time.
Pass.
Yeah, that worked good last time.
I was like,
I'll stay
pass.
here. I'll stay
Okay.
here.
Illendar's got ulterior motives to wanting to get back to Drezen, so he wants to go.
So I can
Why?
take up to 8.
Oh. Well, but I think the delimiter here is Bardos' teleport spell, right? I mean, because you guys
Oh.
can end up anywhere, and you have to come back.
Right. If we go back, the people who are doing the thing can teleport back, the important ones. I'll have Storm there. So Storm with the dual saddle and the helicopter, whatever things hanging off of her, can fly the rest of the people back.
Okay, so as far as plane shift is concerned, I can take up to 8 willing creatures.
That was for you,
I-
Don.
Yeah, I know.
I can reach any other plane correctly, right? So I can get to the prime material plane.
You get the
But
right plane and you get
I'll
within.
be 500 to 500 miles from my intended destination.
Basically, is it D100 times?
It's 5D100.
Okay, yeah.
So 5 to 500 miles. And then at that point, we would need to be able to teleport, and teleport is pretty accurate as long as you don't fumble it.
Yeah.
Right.
And then going back to Alushinyrra would again be, I'd have to
Same thing.
wait till
Plane
the next
shift back.
morning, but plane shift back 5 to 500 miles.
And then
Teleport or
Bardos would teleport us back to the hotel.
right. And so basically I would need a day because I would do plane shift and then we would release the soul. I would do raise dead. And then at that point we could sit around and play cards until it was time to pray for spells again to be able to come back.
Yep. So we're talking about a 3-day trip.
Okay,
Bookended by plane shifts and teleports. And a raised dead in the middle. Does that make sense? Does that work? I mean, am I reading that right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think it'd still only be 2 days.
Yeah, just be 2 days. Today we plane shift and teleport. And then tomorrow
Okay.
everybody's spells are back, so then you plane shift and teleport back.
All right. Yeah, so the day 1 would be plane shift, teleport, raise dead.
Right.
Yes, take your time with all of Don's invisible writing.
Well, my last invisible writing was actually to Gordon.
I don't know, Don. Maybe.
So you're lucky, Don. Les gave you the thumbs up. Usually if I raise a finger to you, it's a different one. Yeah, I've never been a fan of splitting the party, so my thing is
All right, sorry about that.
Put us in the portable hole, and we all go back. I'll do this, and then I'll come back and then attack. What's her name?
I like that portable hole idea. I think that's pretty solid.
Okay, let's see who goes in the portable hole. 1, 2, 3, not it.
Did we decide that you can use a portable hole through plane shift though? That seems kind of
No, we don't have to use the portable hole for plane shift, only for teleport.
only for television.
Yeah, I can take
He
8.
said he could plane shift all of us. We can only teleport 3 people.
I'm just talking about taking a portable hole through a.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
that's,
you can do that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you can
Yeah,
move that
as long as it's
further
not as long as it's not like open or inside out or anything.
Like I said, depending on Storm
Yeah,
can
you should-
cover quite a distance since she doesn't get tired. She can cover quite a few miles.
I don't know. I kind of like Dan's arena idea while you guys are off.
No, I did not say we were splitting the party.
I was pretty sure it was your idea.
I think so too.
I don't know. I mean, you know, it's one. I get where you're coming from the idea of splitting the party. On the other hand, I mean that makes sense when you're in a dungeon or in a battle, but you guys are at a hotel. You know what I mean? You know, I mean, you wouldn't necessarily have to do anything if you guys, you know, if say it's the Dretch and Lothar and Bardos have to go back to Drezen. You guys don't necessarily have to leave the hotel. You can just stay inside, eat eat room service, watch a little of that Spectrovision, and wait for them to come back.
the other question is, when was the last time we put in an order for the supply chain? And is there the possibility that that might be there with additional supplies, magic items, whatever? Because I don't keep track of that.
We already got all that, I think.
Yeah, we
Whatever.
all waited to come here until we had that last order.
Okay.
Yeah, I would
Okay.
think we get better baggage items from here than our supply chain, but
Well, I'm just saying, if we had stuff that was already ordered.
right.
But-
I don't recall.
Yeah, the last batch we got was the holy stuff,
Right.
and we bought that specifically to come to the
Right.
abyss. So
Yep.
we didn't leave until we had that stuff.
It took a
Okay.
while to get it too, if I recall correctly.
Yeah.
Like 3 weeks or something like that.
And it was only because of the Queen's intercession. I mean, she was like, "These guys got to have this stuff."
Right.
So
It's good to be connected.
it's really up to you guys what you want to do. Like I said, I can take 8 of us, and I don't know how many of us there are now total. So
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, seven players.
I don't mind if we go to the Flying Whale showroom and kick a few tires. Metaphorically.
you kick a fin or two.
Yeah.
What's it going to take for me to put you behind the wheel of a flying whale today?
I'm sure you've pretty much built that whole part of the adventure out, right?
Oh, it's like a 3-part miniseries.
I'm thinking the used whale salesman is probably a pretty natural fit for Les. So
So the other possibility too going to Drezen is it is a war city that behind the lines of enemies. So we could get there and the whole thing could be who knows what. So it might be wise to have everybody there. Probably not going to happen, but who knows?
I told you, Illendar would like to go back, but
That's because he wants to see his girlfriend, the succubus.
so
let's be honest. If any of us had a succubus girlfriend, who would not want to go?
You guys have never seen me again,
I
frankly.
would say.
Well, I probably wouldn't see me again and be like, "Am I out of levels already?" Damn, that was like 2 minutes.
Les in the backyard stabbing rats, desperately trying to get a level back.
Gotta get a level. Grind it out, rat death. Ooh, rabbit. You know,
Ooh, raccoons are good experience. Get
oh,
back here.
that's like double a rat.
All right, you guys decide. I'll be right back.
What do you guys think? I mean, there are I'm certainly addressing Dan's point of view from the idea of splitting the party. I don't know that it would necessarily have to be splitting the party. I mean, you could stay in the hotel, or you could all just go back. There might be things that you guys want to do back in Drezen that you can't do here. You know, at the very least, you can provide an Eviateria blade with an update. You probably get a message to the Queen and tell her that you were successful in, you know, shutting. Well, she probably is aware that you guys are successful in shutting the gates that was at the refinery, because all they would have to do is look, and it's not there anymore. But you could give her an update on progress. You guys have been in Alushinyrra just a little less than a week. So, you know, it could be an opportunity to get an update, maybe get some advice. I don't know.
The other thing is, we don't know if that Fey demon is the only assassin after us too. I mean,
that's a good point.
If I was hiring assassins, I wouldn't just hire one. I would hire a couple.
Like at the beginning of that Batman movie, where they all have to kill each other. You know, when the Joker's guys all, you know, what were you supposed to do? I was supposed to take out the driver. What driver?
Yeah.
What's the other thing besides the whole girlfriend thing? Now that Illendar's been here, before Arushale couldn't really, he didn't know what to ask her. So he didn't have a lot of conversations with her about what to expect and all that kind of stuff. But now that he's been here, he can ask her all kinds of intelligent questions that now she might know the answer to.
Good point. The other side of that coin, though, is if you go back to Drezen and you stay for a couple of days, you're going to miss your party. And I don't know if Gatto, you know about the party, right?
I've heard about it. Yep.
Okay, so you're aware that the Drows have invited all you guys, or well, it was I believe it was just Illendar and guest, but you know.
Yeah.
Well, it said guests, plural.
Guests. Okay, so you guys could go.
Illendar to whoever else, right?
Big Drow barbecue in
Probably
Illendar's honor. You don't want to miss that.
But just send Farina. She'll do great.
They're probably going to have Underdark potato salad.
I can just go as Illendar.
Yeah, he could probably, yeah.
So you cosplay as Illendar, who's cosplaying as Drizzt.
Right.
I see no flaws in this plan.
Yeah.
And we'll let Farina go with Gatto because, I mean, that's going to go great.
Well, and there's also, so you've also, Lothar will point
Where's
out,
your other bodyguard?
you've also got a line on Sivar, right? So you've got a line on Sivar, which is at this, what was it? You've had Felipe brought you information about a Ulfin priest who was traded for specie, equivalent to 100 AGP. He was moved to a holding pen owned by a bundler, and there's no other paperwork on that. So theoretically, he might still be there. I think we determined last week that the bundler's headquarters is on the back of a large turtle. A lot of creature domiciles in this game, as you might think. But yeah, so that, I mean, it would probably be pretty easy to find. There's not many slave warehouses on the backs of turtles. Maybe 2. But I mean, you know, for every day that goes by that you guys haven't checked that out, Sivar could be moved, bought, sold. Keep in mind, Alushinyrra buys and sells slaves from all over the abyss. If he gets loose from here, he could be any. I mean, how many levels? There's 666 levels of the abyss. He could end up anywhere.
It's probably a priority project.
Who was this guy again?
Sivar. Lothar, you want to tell him who Sivar was? Is?
Oh, sorry. He's Lothar's mentor.
Okay.
You
So
found
you came here looking for two people.
Yeah, and he was the one that Lothar traveled to whatever that city we started at with together. Because that was where Lothar was. Yeah, that was where Lothar was going to be sworn in as a priest of Erastil, right before all hell broke loose, and he and his mentor got separated.
Just out of curiosity, would Trendalev be down here?
Rendelev is dead.
I know she's dead, but I mean, everybody else we just talked about is dead too.
Who's that?
Oh,
Trendalev, the dragon that put us on his quest.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, I've got the scale, so we're going to resurrect that dragon before the end of this.
now that's the first time I've heard that plot.
And Sivar.
Oh, I told you that before.
Did you? Okay.
Yeah, it might have been one of your drinking nights.
This is why I'm sticking to Diet Coke.
Right.
And Sivar's not dead.
No, I told you that.
Well, you guys found.
super high and like 25 grand is nothing, that we're gonna, the dragon that saved us all, we're gonna bring the dragon back.
Once your slaving business takes off here?
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay.
Because the silver dragon slave, I mean, that's all kinds of money.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's huge. Huge.
Thanks for saving us. Now you're our slave.
Flashheart's like, what? So yeah, so there's that. So and yeah, you guys did find evidence that Sivar was still alive at the refinery, in the cage that was in that sort of that woman's room, whereas obviously that it was a human-sized cage. There was a note hidden in the bedding that is pretty solidly convinced it was written by Sivar because it addresses Lothar.
Mm-hmm.
It's sort of an apology.
Oh, right. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Right. In the refinery, right?
Yeah, it was in the
No,
refinery.
Sivar.
So,
Yeah.
And it said in it. Let's just take a look there.
I think I was busy unmummifying my hero.
Yeah. So I mean, here's what it looks at, and you can see, my friend and loyal servant Lothar is obviously med. And he says at the bottom, he says, "I have heard them say the name of the city, and it is alien to our tongue, but sounds like Alushinyrra. I hope you are alive, but if not, I shall find you. I shall see you in the Rastal's keeping, which I hope to enjoy." So yeah,
Do
so
not seek.
yeah, but that's the end. So that's where it stops.
Yep.
So that's that. And then you have this, which honestly, I don't know that you want to meet. You don't want to miss this. House Druger, 14th House of Menzoberran, with utmost respect and cordiality, invite Driz Duorden and guests to a feast in the honor of House Bonray and their local representatives currently abiding in Alushinyrra. 3 days hence at the Venomous Vestibule. Your response affirming you will join us will be our joy and privilege.
Question, Illendar.
Uh-huh.
House Bonray?
That is Driz's house and the #1 house of
that's
Menzoberran.
the biggest house in
3 centuries in a row.
When they say in honor of, are you the guest of honor, or is there somebody else from Bonray going to be there that's the guest of honor, and they're
I'm
inviting us?
hoping that I am, because if there's someone else from the family, this shindig gets a whole lot more interesting.
That's what I was talking about. Did you not tell them that you wanted to lay low?
Yes, I did, which is why when they came to invite me to that, and they were expecting an answer, I gave them a non-committal answer, because that sticks with my original meeting with them, telling them I'm on the down low here and I'm on an important mission, so I'm busy.
Right.
And basically I told them I will talk to you later. So I gave them a non-committal answer, which is what I want to do, but it also fits with what the story that I already started.
He basically kicked the can down the road.
Yeah, is that, look, I'm busy, I've got stuff to do here, but I will talk to you guys eventually.
But you see it from their side. You got these two slavers who are drow slavers. They're probably taking excess drow prime material slaves, bringing them here, making tons of money. So that's the other thing about this house. House Druger is known. They're Menzoberran's bankers,
Yep.
and probably potentially the most wealthy house in Menzoberran. But Menzoberran especially, wealth doesn't necessarily buy power. It does to a certain extent, but not the kind of power that House Banray has. And they're probably like, look, if we can make friends with these guys here, because frankly, they didn't expect to see any other drow here.
Right.
They've got kind of the corner of the market when it comes to Menzoberran and Alushinyrra, and they made a lot of bank on that. Now that there's another drow here, it means either one of two things. Either other houses in Menzoberran have gotten onto the idea that there's money to be made in this city through the slave trade or other things, or their caper has been blown, and now House Banray at least knows they're here, knows that at least House Druger is making some money selling excess slaves into slavery in the Abyss. Both of those things are not necessarily positive things for these guys. So their remedy to this is to basically kiss up to Illendar, because what they don't want to do is make an enemy of him, because that will bring all the negative consequences of both those things out there at the feet, which they don't want to do. So yeah, and everybody knows drows are huge kiss ups anyway.
Right. And they're very forgiving too. They don't hold a grudge. They're just nice. This is all around nice people.
Yep.
Yep.
So, yeah, I wouldn't mind going there, but if I can't make it, it fits with my story that I've already started.
It does. You know, but you know what they're going to do, though. They're just going to postpone it into a day when you can come.
Right.
This
Yeah.
is definitely designed to get on
This
your
is-
personal good side.
Yeah, this is a manipulative thing. This isn't a good, trying to make friends. This is all
Yeah, it's not
about-
like, well, we were going to have a barbecue anyway, so we figured, hey, you're here. Why don't you just come on by? It'll be great. We'll have a couple. We'll have some Underdark wine, and it'll be great. Oh, and they also sent you that half case of that incredibly rare wine as a sort of a token of esteem.
Which I was very appreciative of that.
Oh yeah,
That's gone.
Since you
Are poisoned.
And if it is, I'm coming to Gatto's room and taking it back.
Gatto's in his room like, it was a stone groove, my man.
No, I purposely hid that, especially from that little twerp that flies in the window and craps in our place.
Yardley?
Yeah.
But he did put you in touch with Nazarius.
That's my good pal Yardley. Don't be talking bad about him.
You're gonna have to take him back to the. It's when you guys get done with this adventure and go back to the prime material plane, whenever that is, and you've got like a flying whale and Yardley and a bunch of fresh slaves and some Underdark wine. You guys are gonna come back and be like, people are gonna be like, "Where did you go?"
That'll be Seneschal Yardley of House Flashheart.
He'll be all, yeah, Flashheart says get the fuck out.
Flashheart, even though paladins don't have familiars, Flashheart will have a familiar.
He'll have a familiar. Yardley.
He's a paid member of the of my house.
The Adventures of Yardley and Flashheart. I can see it. I can see it now. An NBC miniseries of note.
Yeah. Mike Tyson presents.
So, are we all going back, or are we gonna split? And...
Yeah. So what is the planaroo?
Chuck, it's your call. What do you want to do with your mentor? Are you concerned that leaving for 3 days is going to put him in danger?
He's already in danger, and it's only going to be 2 days. And so, on the list here, basically, is Lothar wants to get Sivar back, obviously. His deity has said, get this priest back now.
So that's kind of...
So there's sort of a level of what he'd like to do and what he thinks he needs to do that like I said, at this point, I want to go back and resurrect Jesker Helton and then come back here as soon as we can and follow up on the rest of the leads that we have. But that would be a fairly large sort of responsibility that had been taken care of.
Okay. Does anybody not want to go back with us?
I've had it with the prime material plane. I'm not going back.
Yeah.
Gatto stays.
Gatto will stay.
It's like I'll keep an eye on that Underdark wine for you.
Yeah.
I think I'll keep an eye on Gatto. I don't see any reason for me. You need me to be back.
So yeah, I mean the minimum.
But I also don't feel it's great for a paladin to be walking around without his pals in Alushinyrra. I think that's going to be a very short lifespan.
The minimum for the mission is me and the magic user, right?
Right.
So anybody else who wants to,
Lothar and Bardos are the two that have to do this.
right? So anybody who wants to go for whatever reason, that's an additional thing that really is beyond the minimum. So the two of us could leave and be back in 2 days, and everybody else could stay where they are, meet the requirements of whatever they're doing, barbecues, that kind of thing, and it would be fun.
Except Illendar wants to go with you.
Yeah.
Right. Except you may not want to get into any large scale combat because then you don't have a healer.
Right.
What about small scale combat?
Don't want to anyway. Nope. Don't want to get in any combat.
I think Flashheart and Gatto in the arena. Come on, this sells itself. Two primes, fresh from the prime, and they're in prime position to kick some demon ass in the arena.
We just got the barbecue meeting, right, Les? So, I mean, that's 3 days away, and we're only going to be gone 2 days anyway, so it shouldn't be a problem.
Hey, that's great. Illendar, you can still make it.
Hey,
Yeah.
Goody Two Shoes, Paladin from Ioma Day, Flashheart, and his questionable morals
It's
friend.
morally questionable
Yeah.
caravan guard friend.
Yeah. Probably an assassin. Gato.
In this corner, you know. Flashheart of Ioma Day. And his morally questionable friend Gato, which is almost certainly a fake name.
I would be the fan favorite in this plane.
It's possible you guys could do it. I mean, there's an array of interesting arena options available.
Yeah, I would say we started at the bottom. Started at the bottom, and now we're here.
Well, the reality is you can't. There's no way you could get. I mean, you may make some discreet inquiries. You say, look, you know, Gelderfang is the city champion right now, right? When it comes to the gladiator pits,
Right.
But it's like fighting to torture an already mentioned analogy. It's like fighting Mike Tyson, right? You may be a heavyweight, but if you haven't fought anybody here, you're not getting in the ring with Tyson.
Yeah, you got to work your way up to the belt.
You gotta make a name for yourself. So you probably got if you guys want to take out Gelderfang, which I will be perfectly blunt, big points from a notoriety standpoint, but you're probably going to have to fight your way up at least 2, maybe 3 other fights to get to the point where you can actually be taken seriously by the gambling consortiums. As far as, you know, you walk in there today, they're just going to be like, you guys be meat. You're unknowns.
I'm ready to do it, Gato, if you are. Got to start somewhere. And maybe
Sure.
our friends can raise us if if it doesn't go as we think too well.
You guys, I gotta just see, you know, everybody gets back from Drezen. They've got, you know, they're taking care of Jesker Helton. It's worked out okay. They come back to the hotel room. It's all cleaned and emptied. And it's like, well, where's Flashheart? Where's Gato? Oh, I'm sorry. You guys didn't know. They went to the arena. They didn't.
Yardley bet against us, I'm sure.
Yeah, we've got your stuff in storage. We'll get it for you.
I don't participate too in the arena. I mean, is there a reason why not?
Why not?
If you want him to. I mean, it depends on how you want to set it up. I mean,
We start like with a pair of elderly dretches, coming out of the old dretch home, and then we'll work our way up.
I was just
yeah.
curious. I just didn't know whether. I mean, I didn't know if the setup would allow for that, but that might be something interesting to do at least. Yeah.
Like if you would fight other animals or fight alongside Flashheart and Gato.
Yeah, fight with Flashheart and Gato.
Yeah, come on, Serena.
Fletcher there
Is
too.
that possible?
One of us has to be working the crowd, getting those
But that'd be
bets
me.
made.
Got to get those performance points.
Arena would be working the crowd.
And by working the crowd, she means walking around with her bow, like threatening people.
That's right.
Hey,
Good
you
for them.
over there. I didn't get a clap out of you.
Down in front. Down in front.
I didn't
Well,
get a golf.
if people are going to stay and you guys are going to do that and I can participate in that, then I'll stay. Otherwise, I can go too, but there's more to do here. And if we're going to split the party, might as well go where I can do something. Yeah.
If we're going to split the party, what I would recommend, just from a playability standpoint,
Hanging
I
out in
would
the hotel.
do the boring me and Lothar and Bardos offline, and you do the combats tonight while everyone's online.
I think we should split the party into 3 because that's gonna work out awesome.
Because the stuff that Lothar and Illendar and Bardos are going to do can easily be handled over email or just a quick phone call or something. Whereas the combat needs to take place while people are online playing. Not that I want to, relegate myself to the back burner tonight, but I think that would be best for all if you do the combat here and then let the trip back home, as long as there's no combat, just happen via emails and stuff like that.
I'm also okay with Flashheart and Fletcher being the tag team with or without Otto. Gato will fight, but he doesn't have to.
Well, you can't use your Elven Blade, so I'm sorry about that. You have to use provided weapons. A small broken dagger.
What blade what weapon are they gonna have?
They're going to have claws and teeth.
And the unholy avenger.
Right.
I don't know how to pronounce this. I think it's pronounced Vorpal. Is that right? So yeah, I mean, theoretically we could do that. I mean, I know that. So Mike, I don't know if you want to, if you guys want to take some time, if you wanted to take some time to formulate what questions you had for Arushale. Honestly, we could probably get through it in 10 or 15 minutes. I don't know that there's going to be. I mean, mostly it's going to be how do you get from here to there? Because I think the process that you guys have devised is sound. I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think you guys can actually do your part real quick.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm happy to go get myself a drink. I'll drink on Les's behalf.
Thank
This one's for you, Les.
Thank you, buddy.
So are we,
Lord, I'm
doing
not
the,
even dead. People are pouring out 40s for me.
are we doing the plane shift?
Yeah.
And who's going?
Just the three. Just me, you, and Bardos.
Okay, so the plane shift roll, prime material plane.
Is close to Drezen. So 276 miles from Drezen.
Right.
So I don't even know where that is.
It doesn't matter because as soon as we get there,
Yeah.
Bardos
Yeah.
is very familiar with Citadel Drezen, and so
Sure.
then
He's going to do teleport.
he's
Can
gonna
you teleport that far?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah. Teleport is anywhere on the same
100
plane.
miles per level or something like that. And he made the roll as far as getting us right there.
100 miles per caster level. And what was the roll?
47%.
47. So
All right, so nailed it. Yeah. All right. So you guys actually, and I'd have to look at a thing, but you're definitely. It's not the world wound where you end up. There's forests. It's a little bit arboreal, but yeah, it's definitely there's nobody around. As far as you can tell, you're in the middle of nowhere in these arboreal forests of pines and cypresses.
Mm-hmm.
Bardos immediately things back, and you guys show up in the main hall at Citadel Drezen, just boop, and everybody's like, "Whoa, dudes, what are you guys doing back? It's been like it's been like 2 weeks. Where have you been?"
Oh, actually, is the dretch in the portable hull then?
No, I think you just plane shifted them alongside you guys.
Exactly.
So,
Okay, yeah, it could
so
be true.
it's like you three guys, you
And a
show up.
dretch.
You show up in the main hall at the Citadel Drezen, and the dretch is like, kind of like blobbing around.
Kill it.
Not yet.
Well, oh, there's a problem though.
Dretch can't show up there.
Dretch can't get in Citadel Drezen. Well, no, it can.
Yeah.
Demons can get in there. They just are
A weekend or whatever.
yeah, they're weakened. They have a lot of problems. So, but yeah, this one, it's obvious that this dretch is I mean, it's right under the Sword of Valor. The banner's right there in the main hall.
Pretty much just laying on the floor.
This dretch is probably just like it's trying, it's hiding itself from the thing. Yeah, the banner's on the floor. There's bodies everywhere.
So just
Oh, hi, we've been busy.
take it to where they have the preserved body of Jesker Helton.
Okay. So yeah, so you guys are mobbed pretty closely. People want to know things, and Anivia shows up, and she's like, "How did it go?" And I want to before you guys, before everything goes on, I want to talk to you about that kind of stuff. You need to get a message or anything. But yeah, they're like, you're like, take me to the body of Jesker Helton, imperiously, you say, and they do, and the priest, the dwarven priest, have been keeping him in line, and his body looks pretty much the same as when you left. When you left him here. So it is. They've been maintaining the gentle repose.
And I have set aside the 5,000 gold piece value of diamond
That for a
dust.
while, yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we've had that. So at this point, have one of the dwarven priests execute the dretch,
Okay.
and then as soon as that happens, I'll cast Raise Dead.
Okay.
And I need to pull up that spell. Give me just.
I was going to say, I'm going to pull it up too. Is there anything that can go wrong with
It takes
Raise
10
Dead?
minutes. It takes 10 minutes to do it.
Yeah, it takes a while, and you have to have the right stuff.
But you have all the right stuff.
I do. Yes.
Excellent.
We should make a movie about that.
It's a cubic zirconia.
You restore life to a dead creature. You can raise a creature that has been dead for no longer than 1 day per caster level. In addition, the subject's soul must be free and willing to return.
It's
He's
free
not
and
willing-
right next door.
to return, the subject that wants to return receives no saving throw. So saving throw, no. Okay. If the subject soul is not willing to return, the spell doesn't work. Therefore, a subject that wants to return receives no saving throw. Okay. Coming back from the dead is an ordeal. 2 negative levels. Blah blah blah. Hit points, poison, normal disease. Blah blah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So I don't see any. It can't go wrong unless he doesn't want to come back.
Right.
So I'm gonna roll a d20, and if it rolls, if we fumble, I'll tell you what. Actually, I want you to roll a d20.
I assume that his deity has told him he wants him to come back.
One could make that assumption,
Yeah,
but
so
there's always something that go wrong. So here's what I'm gonna do. I want you to roll a d20. If you get a 1, if you get a fumble, there's a problem.
of course there is.
Don't roll the 1. Don't roll the 1.
6. Okay, so yeah, so Jesker Helton is willing to come back. Apparently, he got the memo, and so now you see Jesker Helton's body. You can see his eyes kind of like flutter, and he's like, and he looks around, and you can, he's like looking around, and he's shaking. He's definitely wild-eyed, and sort of looking around. Do you say anything to him? I mean, he's kind of like, he looks incredibly frightened and somewhat damaged.
Well, yeah, I'm gonna lean down and talk to him sort of calmly, let him know.
Like, hey, D-bag, welcome back.
Right. No, I said calmly, and sort of, I don't know, try to allay his fears and get him to take a deep breath.
Okay, you're sort of just like, hey, Erastil says hi.
Yeah,
I'm here for you. Everything's okay. At first, I mean, he tries to speak and can't. He's like, he's kind of like finding it difficult to put words together. But soon, but he's looking at you, and he grabs your wrist, and finally he gets out, a couple of largely unintelligible phrases. You're not sure what he's trying to say. He's making words. They're in common, but it's very disjointed. He seems to be suffering from some sort of like aphasia or something like that, where he's, what he's saying does not make a ton of sense. He's not saying a lot, and he seems pretty deranged, frankly. He tries to sit up, and his body has obviously been laying here for a while. So, there's like, he's like, it's obviously painful. You're not sure. You kind of get him calmed down, and he seems to be okay. He's certainly alive. The spell worked. The ensorcelment, it's him back in there. But I mean, he's having a hard time making coherent sentences. He looks to be, he starts at noises. He's a little screwed up.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's not. You don't get anything of like value from an intellectual or informational standpoint from him.
Well, I'm gonna cast.
He's pretty damaged.
Yeah, I'm gonna cast Remove Fear.
Okay, it does work. He calms down considerably.
And then I'm gonna cast Cure Serious.
Cure Serious.
Yeah.
Wounds. Okay.
Not that he necessarily is wounded, but just I'm assuming that the healing energy of his own deity going through him would probably have an additional calming effect.
Yeah, absolutely. So both of those spells in conjunction actually do. He calms down. He takes a minute, and he's sort of like, he looks at you, and he does say a few more things. It's still not very coherent, but he does seem like, the color is returning to his face. He's not like staring and looking around. He's sort of like, he'll point at stuff, and he points at the sword of Alan. He's like, and then he looks at you, and he's like, and kind of like, what is that? And where am I? Is the kind of things that you're getting, but it's not like he's putting together words very well. Your guess is that there's some psychic damage here that would require more than a Cure Serious to take care of. But he does seem to be alive. He seems to be hale. And you do you look up and you see at one of the windows, flying on the little ledge, you see what looks to be a small but golden bird that sort of flies in, and it chirps, and then it flies into the room and lands on Jesker's shoulder and sort of just sits there, and it's kind of like, the bird is kind of like, and it's looking at you, and it has these strange deep blue eyes that looks at you, this bird, and it's just like sparrow size. It just sits on his shoulder, but your interpretation of this is that this is an omen, this is a message that is from Arasil that's saying, I think we're good here.
Yeah.
It's going to be a long road. Your guess is it's going to be a long road back to anything resembling coherence.
Well, yeah, he's had a rough day.
Yeah.
Or 50.
Yeah. Well, he was possessed,
And
killed,
dretch.
stolen, sold, slaved, dretched, plane shifted. He may not remember who you are because he was possessed at the time. I mean, he sort of does maybe, and it was a couple of months ago too. So he's profoundly messed up right now. But he's back.
Yeah. And so we'll obviously instruct the priests that have been taking care of him to continue to do so.
Mm-hmm. Okay, they absolutely will. Is there anything else that you want? So that's a success. You got Jesker Helton back. You've achieved that. Well done. I know this was a long road for you guys. So while you guys are in Drezen, it's going to take the better part of a day and night for you to get the spells back. You won't be able to get them back tomorrow. Is there anything else you guys want to do while you're in Drezen? That be Bardos or Illendar.
Intimate dinner with the succubus, something like that.
Well, yeah, there's that.
Yeah.
But I wasn't going to go into details on that.
What level are you now?
Oh no, I went to the stores there and emptied every restoration scroll or potion.
He's got
a whole.
He looks like one of those Oktoberfest waitresses with all these potions of restoration. He's like, I'm ready.
Those. See me walk in and close the door, put the do not disturb sign on there. I do have a bunch of questions for Rusalade, but I will get you an email over the weeks on what those are.
All right, sounds good. Is question one, was it a good idea to pretend to be Driz Orden of House Banray? No. Really? No.
Really? No. Yeah.
So
all right, cool.
After that, I'm gonna go rest and eat and be ready to pray for spells in the morning to get us back to Alushinyrra.
Okay.
And then I'll give a report to what's her name, the half orc.
Okay, yeah. Do you want to take Bardos with you and sort of just like Anivia Tirablade as you're talking about? So so she's like, look, I want to know everything. You guys have been gone. And as you guys are talking with her, you realize that they believe that you guys have been gone longer than you guys think you've been gone. And I don't know if Bardos wants to maybe address that.
Yeah, let's talk to me about this. So I assume at some point we figure out that time is different in the Abyss plane where we're at, and it's actually more like a day and a half for every day we've been there. So time is traveling faster here in Galarian than it is where we're at.
So the guys who were gone we're not going to be gone that long as far as they're concerned.
Right.
Wait, is this like Narnia where like a year passes while you're gone?
Instead of being gone for like a full day, we'll only be gone for like, half or three-quarters of a day or something.
Yeah, it'll be time passes slower in the Abyss, at least relative to the prime material plane.
All right. Well, yeah, we'll give her a full report, let her know what's going on, let her know what we found, what we're in the middle of doing, and then basically make sure she gets all that stuff to the queen, especially all the stuff that the queen specifically gave us orders to do. We'll make sure she gets something to the queen,
You're like, hey, check out this paladin book we're writing.
Oh yeah, I'll restock my stores of whiteout too.
Okay, cool. All right, so yeah, I mean, you guys brief her. A lot of people are glad to see you, and you guys have a pretty substantive reputation around here. So a lot of people are saying, you get a lot of memos that say, hey, come eat with us, come have a beer, before you leave, that kind of stuff. And there's no way to actually do them all. You're probably able to do a couple of them. You probably take a moment to go see Geyer, who's now in charge of the human contingent of warriors here, and captain of the guard. So you probably see him. He greets you warmly. Things have been quiet, is what he'll tell you.
It's a good problem to have.
Yeah, we haven't had demonic influences or world wound sort of things poking at our defenses. That just simply hasn't happened over the last fortnight or so. Now we've heard things from other areas on the southern edge of the world wound and things like that where there have been some battles and things like that, but it hasn't. There seems to be a weird sort of lull in the activity right now, and we're not sure if that's due to what you guys have done or if it's due to some sort of that sentence doesn't make any sense, Don.
Yes, it does, but you'll remember.
Okay. But yeah, so they'll basically say, look, we're sort of in a lull right now. And Geyer will tell you, he's like, look, I've been a Crusader for a long time. This sometimes happens. Usually it means that the demonic forces are regrouping for a new attack or counterattack. So we're sort of a little bit on edge here, but we haven't seen anything much happening. It just gives you a quick update on the state of Drezen. They've had several. They've had at least one supply chain. More people from Kenebris are making their way upriver to Drezen. So there's a fair amount more people. You can physically see there are more people there. It seems to be growing well, and even some people who have sort of begun renovating some of the town, and doing that. There's still a lot of things that need to be desired, but there are workers, there are people, living outside of the Citadel, which is a change.
Yeah.
All right.
Illendar would make a quick round to see a bunch of people, but yeah, he's going to spend most of his time hanging out with Rochelet, either questioning or just hanging out. So.
Hanging out.
Because you get a call from inside the city. I'm getting a call from inside the Citadel. Hold on, Bill's alchemy. Yeah, you got any more restoration potions down there? I'm feeling a little weak. All right, so the next day you get your spells back, and it goes back to Chuck. Let's plane shift.
Yep. Grab everybody. 89 miles from the inn.
All right, so 89 miles from the inn is going to be, you guys are in the water again. So remember, this is an island. So you guys end up splooshing in the water, and Bardos is like, been there, done that. Grab my hand, swim over. There is a scary moment when you guys are looking down into these abyssal seas, and you see what looks a lot like tentacles begin to, sort of down underneath you. You're not sure if they've seen you, but it's awfully big. There's something very big and tentacled down there. So you guys waste no time in getting a hold of Bardos' hand, and he's able to teleport right back into into the lobby of the hotel. You can't teleport directly into your rooms because of there's various protections to do that. They don't want people teleporting into the hotel rooms and raiding the mini bars and then teleporting back out. So they have but yeah, you guys get back to the Worm Empire, and you're right. It is only about a little over a day later, and everybody's like, Gatto's got a bottle of Underdark wine in his hand. He's like, "You're back early."
What's back behind him?
You weren't supposed to be back till tomorrow. You can see he's got other wine that he's in a big funnel. You're like, you guys, we're supposed to be here till tomorrow.
I've also got a new hat. It looks like an armadillo.
That's right, it does.
It looks like an armadillo, huh?
It does.
His name is Ned.
What?
His name is Ned.
Your hat's name is Ned.
Yes.
The hat says, "Yeah, what about it? It's a regular name." You got a problem with Ned?
Don't be name shaming his hat.
Drizzed.
We just watched a show where all the demons had little animals on their head, like a lizard, frog.
When you ask about it, my hat turns into an actual armadillo or something that looks like it. It says, yes, his name is Ned.
You're getting the Spock eyebrow from Illendar.
Is this what you've been?
I wouldn't explain anything.
Is this what you've been texting Les about?
No, emailing Les a while ago.
Okay.
I detect evil on Gatto's hat.
You were going to say I detect evil on Les.
I was.
I am undetectable.
Is Ned evil?
You detect evil on Ned?
Remember, I've got that shield. He can't tell on me.
Every time you do the whole raising your hand to detect evil,
Lead.
he's got a lead.
Well, okay, so
always.
all right. Yeah, so no, Ned is not evil.
See?
Okay.
Weirdly, he also calls Gatto Patrick.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay, evil Patrick.
I'm not evil. As far as you know.
Yeah, no, the armadillo is not evil.
Okay.
So is this something from your past, Patrick?
You found here.
I'm very curious to see how you explain this.
I found
Presence
him
of-
on the street.
Why does he know to call you Patrick, though? Did you tell him?
He asked me what my name was. So
And you didn't tell him Gatto.
So when we use a spell to contact, we have to use Patrick, not Gata.
yes.
Patrick the Cunningham, I remember.
Yes.
Okay.
I go by Gatto.
Yes. So there you go. Okay. All right. So you guys are back. You caught Gatto in the act of switching out the good wine for the wine that he bought down the street. Since you guys came home a day early.
He would never do that because I'm the one that gives him invisibility. So he wouldn't even.
I kept 2 bottles for you.
Here, look, it's right. It's all fine. All right. So
then I might start absentmindedly messing up my greater invisibility for like glitter dust every time I.
No, it's all fine. All the wine is fine.
Whoops! I keep forgetting and casting glitter dust on you.
all right. So what next? I mean, so you guys are back. The Jesker Helton thing went well. Everything, as Lothar would probably tell you. There's a couple of things you have an option. You've been talking about an arena visit. You've been
So we should do that.
You've been talking about going to try and see if Sivar is at that holding pen. To see if you can get him back. And then there's also Minago. I mean, you could be like, hey, on the success of the Jesker Helton rescue, maybe we want to just take it right into her teeth.
Yeah, I'm good with that too. Sooner we get her out of the way, the better.
Well, it certainly would vault you in the attention of the city. Nocticula definitely knows Minago's name. I mean, it could vault you to enough points in my hidden point tally to warrant a visit, a positive reaction to a request for a visit for an audience.
I vote for Minago.
Well, then, sort of once again, we have those other things that we can do, but at this point, I'd still like to follow up on Sivar, just because there is the time is of the essence situation, potentially. We know where Minago lives. Minago's not going to sell her living house and move somewhere else in the next day or two.
But the assassin did have a good point that if
Well,
nothing
right,
happens-
we can't let it
Yeah.
draw out too long,
right.
because then obviously Minago's like, okay, you're not really trying to kill them
Yeah,
because
you're
you're
not
still
doing your job.
you're still wandering around doing stuff. And I don't know that the search for Sivar can't be sort of simultaneous with the
Star Trek II, The Search for Sivar.
or the arena or whatever's going on.
Right.
Because like he said, we're going to have to, whoever we put together, there's going to have to be 2 or 3, maybe 4 fights before they can go for the throne. So you don't just get to go call up the champ.
Right.
And once they sign up for it, the fight's going to be whatever that night, the next day. So I think that can happen somewhat contemporaneously.
Yeah, I don't see any issues why I couldn't. So what do you guys want to do? And make sure it's something that I have a map for.
Well, I think we want to
We're
go.
gonna go to another
Are we doing singles or tag teams? It's not like we're doing tag teams, but I'm sure there's multiple variations of
Do
fights.
singles.
Because if we do singles, will that give us enough notoriety? Or is it better to tag team, or do we want to do singles in two different groups? Two different things and work. See who's successful working their way up.
I
So
think if you have teams, that's better chances for survival.
Yeah. Yeah, we don't know what's going to be in the arena. We can make assumptions, but we don't really know.
Is Magic banned completely less, or can you do buffs and stuff, or is it all?
Well, it's not banned, certainly. And magical battles also take place. Where you have two wizards facing off against each other. Gladiatorially as well.
I'd like to see
They're just not as
and Fletcher.
They're just not as interesting.
Fight other people.
Just a magic battle, unless it's used in conjunction. Remember, there's the idea that so just a meta game for a second. The participating in an arena fight garners you a certain amount of notoriety. Participating in a way, but it's all about the bonus points, right? So let's say the party participates in an arena fight, that's one notoriety point, right? And the math is different, but if you do so in a way that hypes up the crowd, or you do interesting attacks or some sort of performance combat and things like that, or you get people riled up, or you make a lot of wild claims beforehand, or all this other stuff, then there's bonus points that accrue. So the idea is that as you're in Alushinyrra, at least in this early part, there is a certain amount of notoriety that you have to get in the city to get the attention of Nauticula.
Yep.
And various things have various point values, but there's always room for bonuses by doing things extravagantly. Remember, you guys are a good party in an evil city. And you've been doing some things, like you've been attacking the extortionists. You did got some what else did you do? You attacked some people in the street, slavers maybe.
Tax collectors,
and the guys who were beating up the potion maker.
Oh, right, Melkor's guys. So yeah, so you've already gotten, there's already people in Alushinyrra, especially in your area of the city, who are saying, "Hey, get a load of these guys that down at the Worm Empire. They took out two extortionists, and they saved Melkor the Potioner from a bunch of guys who were going to kill him." I don't know what their deal is, but that's crazy.
We're like on the 30 under 30, 30 under level 30 to watch.
30 under level 30. That's cool. We have to that has to be a thing. That's canon now. that contest takes place.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I mean, what I can tell you is you have not gotten enough points yet to reach the stage where Nauticula would be. So the idea is, once you've reached a certain level of points, either Nauticula takes notice of you, depending on how you do it. Nauticula may take notice of you and send you some sort of like, I want you to come see me. Or you can petition her and say, "Hey, look, we're these cool guys from out of town. We've made such a name for ourselves that you want to talk to us. We want to request an audience. We have something we want to tell you." And she will be intrigued enough by hearing about what you guys have been doing in town to grant that request, which is something that she wouldn't normally do. She's like, I don't have time to see every gang of douchebags from the Prime Material plane that rolls into my city.
So who's going to be our promoter here? I think Fletcher and I are the muscle. Somebody else has got to be the hype man promoter. But
well, yeah, if there are ways that you can do that you can hype things up, or screw up the betting, or who knows? I mean, there are creative ways to do these kind of things.
Remind me of some of the creative potions we had too from Melkor. It seems like those might be things to pull out in a performance making sort of thing, because some were a pretty whack job. Mike, do you have those handy?
And most of those were on the expressly forbidden list for paladins.
Right. I remember. But I don't think Fletcher is down by those conventions. Where's Fletcher?
I'm right here.
Okay,
Just in
there you are. I just see your empty room there.
No, he's like Harry Potter hiding in that chair.
Is that chair? Is that? Are you in Downton Abbey or like Joe Exotic's living room? Where are you? It looks pretty amazing from this picture.
Joe Exotic. I like it.
I watched that show. That was that was a wild ride from start to finish. That
Okay.
show.
So the potions we got are
You apparently can't raise tigers without becoming a polygamist.
you've got a potion that you give someone that's in love with you and can't handle that they don't have you and they try to commit suicide. You got one that speak with plants and convince them to spy for you.
Fun.
Let's put some shrubs around the
Other one,
the
the most
arena.
impressive one, is the one that allows you to grab the heart out of someone.
Yeah, I think that might be your go-to
That's totally a Fletcher thing. That's
coup de
not.
grace
Wait,
Fletcher.
you don't want to use the love potion one?
That's not a flash heart thing.
Yeah, we're saving that one.
Like I said, the grabbing the heart out of someone, that I could totally see that as being a Fletcher thing.
Fletcher does too.
Fletcher does that without potions. What are you talking about? What do I
No,
need some fancy magic for that for? Watch this.
Yeah, we can save it for down the road, assuming we can take the first few fights handily. But I would say that I'm just thinking that we want to. How do we zazz up some of these things? Is there anything else we got in our list of buffs that might be interesting? Come in riding a chain of perdition or something.
How about a +4 dex?
What's that?
How about a +4 dex?
I would totally do that. I mean, it might work better
You
for
could do
me, but
acrobatics.
I would absolutely love that because I'm the slowest member of the party, I think.
I could cover you in glitter dust.
Hey, that's my line.
Hey, I'll cast, I can use Cat's Grace when you're ready. You get
Yeah.
minutes.
I would love that. I got to figure out how to calculate my attack then, but
Dex wouldn't mess with your attack at all. It would just up your AC by 2.
There's
okay.
something over by the door making a noise.
Who is that?
I go answer the door
Somebody's pagers.
as the caravan guard.
It's the hotel calling card system, and there's basically, hello, this is the front desk. We have a visitor for you. They just said the primes who were down by Melkor's Potioner 2 days ago. There's a visitor here to see some of you or one of you. Could you send somebody down, please? They can't come past the
Demons.
The guards.
they're not come. Yeah, we can't send them up.
All right.
Which one of us are they asking for?
I
It's
think
one of you.
They just said that they wanted to speak to somebody representing the primes who were by Melkor's Potioner 2 days ago. Is that you guys?
I'm happy to go down. Who wants to go with me?
I'll go with you.
I'll shake out my beautiful mullet,
Golden locks.
my golden locks, and my militant paladin mullet.
Okay,
You
I'll
want-
go with you and cast the prestidigitation, whatever that has you constantly having the hair blowing back behind you.
Yeah, exactly.
was- What was the name of the
Like a micro
captain
gust
from
of wind.
Futurama? The one that wore the very short skirt?
Tila?
No, not Tila. The ship captain, who was Phil Hartman's character.
Yeah.
I can't remember.
So do you want the healer to go down to this with you?
Let's hope it doesn't come to that, but if anybody wants to come.
I'll come down.
Yeah.
Well, they're asking about the people who are out beside Melkor's potions, which means they're asking about the people who killed the tax collectors.
Right.
Those are two different people, though. Those are two different groups we killed.
Yeah.
If they want a piece of that, I give them what for as well.
Yeah, I'm just going for the social skills and for the fact that we've told a few people that I'm supposedly in charge, even though I'm not. So I'm just going to keep up appearances.
Less. Mike's been working on. Bardos been working on the I'm babbling because I'm starting to get sleepy. Let's go down there. No,
I
I
think
was
it's,
gonna say I want a cantrip where my cloak and my hair are always billowing back.
and I think it's Captain Brannigan.
That's it. Yes.
Zach Brannigan.
Zach Brannigan. What's Futurama, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I've been starting to envision Flashheart as sort of a medieval version of Zach
Oh,
Brannigan.
that guy. He's like wearing red in every episode. Yes. I remember that.
I hope his kilt is a little longer. Is all I'm saying.
All right, so you guys, who's going downstairs? Flashheart and
Lothar and Flashheart.
okay. So you guys go downstairs and you see sort of in reception. So there's a place near the front that has its own separate desk that is not bound by the thing for exactly this sort of thing. When demons come to the hotel, they need to drop off things, they need to leave messages, that kind of stuff. And you can see that there is a demon there. He's one of those strange looking demon creatures. Doesn't seem to be dressed very nicely. Sort of like a tradesman almost. He's got a big leather apron on and sort of like these, it's just a, at first he's like a tiefling, but his horns are sort of going in odd directions. And he's, he looks like he recognizes you when he sees you.
Okay. Well, I'll come like Sir Demon. What may I do for you today? What may we do for you today? Excuse me.
Well, I'm just here to drop off I'm dropping off the taxes. And he takes a bag and puts it on the receptionist table. There they are. There's the taxes for you.
What's he?
No. We just because we removed the tax collector does not mean you owe us taxes. If there's a system of taxes.
Oh damn it! I should have gone down with him.
Look, you don't have to lie to me. I know how things work. It's the taxes. You are the new tax collector, so I brought the taxes for everyone. It's all there. It's all there.
I'm gonna look helplessly over at Lothar.
Yeah. So we're the new tax collectors. Is that correct?
Yeah, because we killed the old ones.
No, I get that. I'm asking the demon.
Oh, of course. I mean,
we've lowered tax rates.
You killed the. I'm assuming you work for the same syndicate. This is how this works. I don't understand how you don't understand this.
It's a syndicate I could be working for.
You're on Alushinyrra LinkedIn right now, looking at the syndicate.
Look, my colleagues and I, we understand that we need to pay for protection. We're willing to pay. Here's the tax.
So they want us to protect them. Then it's like a job. It's no longer extortion.
But then we
as you guys
It's still
know,
extortion.
protection payments are usually protection from the people taking the payments.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we need to come up with a way to have him take this money back to the people whose money it is.
You know what? I'm gonna tell them. You know what? We've changed our collection frequency. Just take this back. We'll come get it when we want it. So.
Well, that's certainly odd. I mean, are you sure? That doesn't make a whole lot of sense. I mean, we're happy to do it as long as as long as we're still guaranteed protection from from the others.
Sorry, which others?
The rival carts, the rival food carts and drink cart men. That's what we're paying the protection for. We want to continue to operate in the space that we do, so we pay you protection for that. I feel like that maybe are you testing me?
Sure.
Illendar, I'm looking at you and Lothar like what?
Look, I don't want to irritate you. Obviously, you're trying to test me in some way. We have all talked about it. We're willing to pay, and here's this week's protection. Here's this week's tax.
I asked him how much is there.
About I'd have to tally in my head, but everybody kicked in the same amount that we always do. So I would say 300 AGP.
Okay. We will come collect that when we're ready for it.
Let me make sure I have this correct. You want me to hold on to the tax until you're ready to come collect it?
Yeah.
And then I'm at the same rate, right? I mean, we're not seeing a rate increase or anything like that, right?
I am not going to increase the rate at all. I can promise you that.
I have your assurance.
As far as you know.
All right. And he slowly takes the bag off the table. He says, "I'm leaving with the tax now."
Was he
But
wearing
I'm
a wire?
still-
Checking for a wire. Checking for a
Still willing to give it to you because I have it right here.
Make sure everyone gets their share back, and we will come collect it when we're ready for it.
All right, if that's the way you want it. I mean, this is well, frankly, this is unheard of. I mean, this is I've never heard of a tax collection method that works on this in this regard. But
Have you ever heard of a prime
Questioning
tax
my
collector?
methods?
I'm sorry.
Are you questioning my methods?
Oh no, sir.
You saw what happened previous to you, right?
We did indeed. Everyone
So-
knows.
These are my methods.
All right then. I will take it back and redistribute it, and we will await your collection.
When I'm wearing a hot dog, you know I'm in my tax collection livery, and you should have your money ready.
You can just see Illendar's like, "We will be there. Look for a prime in a hot dog suit.
And a hot dog
He will
suit.
collect the tax." The demons are just like, "The fuck is going on with these guys?"
So after he leaves, and I'll look at Lothar and Flash Art, and
Yeah,
Yes,
he looks very caged about this. This is not the process, and frankly, he looks a little frightened, like this is some sort of trap.
Hey, I get
But
it.
he does leave with the bag.
so
I'm
I
gonna.
kick this can down the road. We'll have to deal with this later, but
Are you gonna
Exactly.
are you gonna tell Gatto anything about this? I wouldn't.
I am. Lothar is going to take great joy in explaining to Gatto how we sent the money back. He's smiling so big right now, it makes no damn sense.
but if Lothar tells Illendar that, he'll say, if you tell him this, he's going to go and try and get the money. So let's just keep this away from him for right now until we figure out what we're doing.
I'm well stocked up with purge invisibility.
Patrick, what's wrong? His armadillo hat's talking to him. He's like, Patrick, are you okay? Your head is getting
aneurysm.
your head is getting really hot.
As a lawful good priest, I rarely get chances like this to just enjoy the suffering of others and still be within my alignment. So I'm going to milk it.
Hold on, I gotta tweet
I'm
that.
just, Illendar's just saying, I'm just trying to be the voice of reason. If you let him know Gatto's good, he will find a way to get that money back.
Yeah, you're probably
No,
right.
I promise. I promise.
And
I
when
won't do
Gatto
it.
says he promises, so you can do what you want. Like I said, all I did here was just kick the can down the road.
Yeah, I think that's.
We'll have to deal with it, but at least we've got options, and we'll figure out.
Right.
You did the best we could at short notice.
This is a great tweet.
I'm
As a
going-
lawful good priest, I rarely find opportunities to enjoy the suffering of others, so I'm going to milk it for all it's worth. That's a classic tweet.
Why
Love
do you guys hate me?
That could be
Chuck, you may get tweet of the week, man. That's awesome.
that might be t-shirt worthy.
Teacher worthy.
Well, that's a big grapefruit operation. What we're going to do is we're going to take all our best quotes and put them on T-shirts and sell them on our web store. So we're looking
For
forward to
ourselves.
that. To ourselves.
Yeah,
Yeah,
to
exactly.
ourselves, right.
To ourselves, yes.
All right. So interesting development there. These guys, apparently there's a syndicate. Apparently they extort protection money from these cart guys, because that's what before you guys killed the tax collectors, you saw them. I mean, you witnessed them sort of going from cart to cart. So there's a lot of these vendors and cart guys and little shops and stuff like that they were going and they were collecting money from. You guys saw those. You guys killed the tax collectors. So these guys assumed that you were now the tax collectors and protectors.
Tax collectors, yeah.
Yeah. So that's apparently how things work here.
Yeah.
You're
But-
destroying their economic system.
But also,
Great
But
guys.
also, there's rival shop guys. So the protection money ostensibly is to protect these shop guys and cart guys from those guys who are probably interested in like expanding territory. So
It'd be
I mean,
lawful.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe
It
you're
would
putting
be
these guys
lawful,
at hazard.
Kind of for here, kind of lawful, but yeah. Like I said, I kicked the can down the road. We'll deal with that later.
All right. Another problem to solve later. All right. So what's next? Are you guys going down to the arena? Or are you going to the turtle?
Which one was where Sivar?
At the turtle. So it's
turtle.
Essentially a holding pen for slaves as they keep them in there. The information you got was that an elfin priest was brought there, purchased by them. Well, he was purchased at the flesh markets for what looks to be 100 AGP. He was moved to what is called a holding pen, owned by a bundler, who's essentially a bundler, somebody who buys loose slaves, puts them together into groups. Sort of like what the Resleever was doing by selling them, resleeving. Yeah, and he sells them as a group. But Felipe was able to determine that this bundler, where he keeps his wares. This guy's a little bit smaller time than the Resleevers. So he keeps his wares his shop, his warehouse is on the back of a large turtle that's sort of hangs out near the flesh markets. So they have a buying what's the word I'm looking for? A buying booth at the flesh markets, but the stock is held at the turtle.
Yeah.
So
Well, at this point,
I said we go to the turtle and get him back.
yeah, I'll say at this point, I know Lothar has asked for sort of several somewhat sidetracks to what our main goal was, but again, I would like to go and check this out.
Illendar's right behind you.
Okay. You guys are so say we all?
Ready?
All right, cool. So you
Gotta
guys,
make money better.
you guys head down to the flesh markets, and you know, it's just as horrifying as it always is. But pretty quickly, even though it's a big place, you guys, I mean, you guys know where you're going. You've already, Felipe's already ID'd where this guy's booth is, the purchase booth, and they're definitely about buying at the flesh markets. So they've got a couple of different people who are selling loosies to them and that kind of thing. But you can also see behind them about, maybe 100 feet, what looks to be an enormous turtle that has ladders coming down. And on top of it, it looks like they've built some sort of infrastructure, sort of almost the reverse of the sky whales, where on top of this turtle, there's this big sort of planking and net infrastructure that covers the creature. And on top of that, you can see sort of like little pavilions and stuff like that. And people, you can see, well, maybe not people, but creatures sort of wandering about.
Okay, so how do we get access to that?
All right. I grab your...
I'm hearing like Aladdin music playing while make way for Prince Ali. Anyway, a little punchy over here.
let me get your...
It's not every day you get to see a man in a hot dog suit sing to you. It's just awesome.
But I did pick up on your Star Trek Captain Kirk fight music earlier, so that was pretty.
Oh, thank you. There's two. There's the there's that one, and then if the ships are fighting, it's
Yeah. No, I picked up on that and got a chuckle out of it earlier.
Oh, and by the way, I don't know if I put it in here. I think I did. No, I did. I don't think I did. I got that that DM music that you sent over.
Yeah.
I went ahead and downloaded it. I've got it in my transmogrifier, but I don't have it in this one yet.
It's pretty great, right?
It is pretty good. All right, Gatto. Which Gatto are you?
Which Gatto are?
For this one, I will be Caravan Guard.
We ask that to him like every morning.
Wait, are you Gawker? Am I switching?
Are you Gawker?
Drow Caravan Guard.
Okay. Let me grab him. Was that the full body one?
Yes.
Okay.
Are you Gawker in the Traveler game too?
Yeah, he sure is.
So does Gawker get caught with all the ship porn in that game as well?
Only in that one, not in this one at all.
Now, in that game, they had a whole hold full of porn.
bear,
That's
yeah,
just their business.
the bear porn and the pelts and the Ewok pelts.
Yeah.
That was bad. All right, so let me just throw you over there. Check your guys to make sure that they're because I just copied them over from the enlarged card to the embodied souls thing. So you don't get to you don't get to go directly there because there's a lot of things. It's pretty easy to go back there, but I mean, you guys are starting to turn a few heads. This is probably the third time that you guys have been down to the flesh markets, and frankly, primes aren't really obvious here. So I mean, you are getting a few eyeballs. It would be probably hard to just roll back there, but maybe you can go through the guys at the pavilion. You know, the guys at the purchase stall. What are you doing?
Flashheart was going full steam ahead.
He's just right up there. So you do see this huge turtle back there, and it has these big ladders that go sort of up to the top. And then you can see people wandering around up there. What you also notice is what look to be snake creatures at a couple ends, and there's you can at least see this one here who's kind of like hanging out there.
I need Storm.
And it looks like this. So you can see those guys there, and they're just basically moving people around. You can see the creatures. I'm just using the dretches here, but there are demons and tieflings and other creatures that you don't recognize. You know what kind of creatures they are, and you see some humans as well.
I need Storm on this map too.
Oh, sorry, I'll get to Storm.
So
Wow, you're not gonna attack these guys, are you?
No, of course not.
Who was our face man last time that was able to talk us into we're looking for a specific subject?
Got a 17 in diplomacy and bluff.
So I'm thinking we might be able to try that again.
Okay.
Although if the asking price is way more than what we have, then we have an issue.
That's what I was going to ask. If you guys don't want to start your crusade against slavery yet, then we could go in, and as long as just a couple hundred, we just go ahead and do that. If it's more than that, then I'll leave it up to you if you guys want to start trying to level the place.
Well, to be honest, as much as I would like to start my crusade against slavery right now, we still have to be smart about it. So
right,
you have to make it look like an accident.
We accidentally slaughtered this whole turtle worth of people.
I'm not gonna make it look like an accident when it happens.
What if you destroyed the turtle?
That would be
all the slaves came crashing down, ruining their business. And if you couldn't pin it on you, like if it was just a random turtle accident, nobody would blame the primes.
A random turtle accident.
This turtle's head just disintegrated. I don't know what happened.
Hey, you don't know about this place. Maybe turtles buy it all the time in this town. You never know.
Was that a turtle slay living?
All right. So what do you guys do? I mean, are you gonna like go through
for guidance? I don't mind talking and trying to get us in to get this, but I need to know what my rules are and where it changes from peaceful negotiation to a different style of negotiation.
I would say see if you can ask to look at the wares because we're looking for something specific.
Okay.
Now, whether or not you actually give them what we're specifically looking for, or if it's just we want to look and then I can try and find the person we're looking for.
Okay.
I mean, that I don't know.
What is your friend? Was he was a priest as well?
Yeah, he's a priest of Erastil.
Okay.
And he's an older guy. He's thin, wears farmer clothes because that's basically what he is.
And when we were tracking down this guy, did we put as one of the things to look for is that we're looking for a priest? So these people would know he's a priest, or is that kind of hidden and no one knows that?
If I remember correctly, they know he's a priest.
Okay.
Now I might have that confused because they knew Jesker, the soul, was a priest. So they might only know that this one is a Viking or an Ulfin So you
That's
might want to.
According to Felipe, he was listed in the paperwork that he found at the flesh market at the registrars as Ulfin priest. No other information.
Okay.
So they know he's a priest, but they also know he's an Ulfin, and that should be fairly rare.
So if I just go generically looking for priests, that doesn't arise too much suspicion, especially if we got a reason for it, and they can't have a ton of them. So that should get us to at least be able to see them. I mean, to be honest, like I said, demons don't heal themselves. So especially if you're lower level demons, whatever, I would think a captured priest is kind of your only option. So searching for one probably wouldn't be too far out of the norm.
Yeah. You have either. You could either say you're looking for a priest or you're looking for an Ulfin, or you could put them together, and that would be pretty specific. But I don't know.
I think that would be too specific.
Yeah, I don't know if that would get us attention we don't want.
So if I just give them one of the criteria, which would narrow it down a bit, I think it's specific enough to narrow down what we want, but not so specific that they're like, okay, why are you after this specific guy?
Yeah.
Okay, so so you're gonna go to the purchase counter essentially.
Yeah, where is the purchase counter?
Well, they say they have a little booth in the flesh markets proper, and then behind that is sort of like the warehouse, right, which is the turtle. But there's a booth, and then you can see as you approach them, you can see that they are doing business. Now, you get closer and you sort of listen, and you can hear them, and it's basically what they're doing is almost, I mean, entirely buying. So they are buying loose slaves. So what you have is you have groups of people, sometimes individuals, who are coming up and say, hey, I've got an extra, I don't know what to do with them, do you guys want them? And they'll say, yeah, we'll give you this. And you could see them sort of like checking people out. Basically, when they've got, you know, when they've got one-offs and two-offs of slaves, they want to get rid of them, but they don't want to go through the hassle of trying to sell it on the private market. What they do is they go to these bundlers and say, look, I'll sell it to you. The bundlers will buy loose slaves, put them in groups of 20 or 40 or 60, and then sell them en masse to, sort of like the sleever guys were doing, sell them en masse to agricultural, mining, you know, whatever buyer is looking to buy in quantity.
Right. So what we're asking for is not what they typically do.
Right.
No, their typical customer would be somebody buying between 20 and 100 slaves as a group in one big lump.
Which we don't have the money to buy that many.
I don't know, maybe you do. You should use that protection money
That we don't have?
that you got from the cart guys. Oh, that's right, you sent them home. Well,
Yeah.
maybe go back over to the cart guys over by Melkor's Potioners, pick it
Yeah.
up.
That's exactly what I was typing, Les.
Oh, was it? Okay.
Okay, that protection money won't get but a couple, not a group of 10 or 20.
Oh, so you take a couple of weeks, you get in the protection rackets, you pile it up, then you go get who you need. Just economics.
No, I told them we weren't going to raise rates.
I'm sure organized crime guys tell people they're not going to raise rates all the time.
The difference is
What you said is you weren't going to
reformed-
raise rates.
aren't reformed drow.
Yeah, you pulled the oldest trick on the book on him. You said that you weren't going to raise rates. It's like you said you weren't going to kill me. Yeah, I know I'm not. I said I
Hold on,
wouldn't.
we got to check the book. If can paladins raise rates on their extortion victims?
Yeah.
Error 404.
We just consider it aggressive tithing.
Aggressive tithing.
Yeah,
Better
how about-
tithe.
Yeah, proactive tithing. How about that? That sounds better. Like we don't wait for you to bring us the money. We go to you to get it.
Yeah, you might want to check that talisman.
Hmm.
Yeah, Iomede's not about extortion. I've checked. That might put you in a little jeopardy if you guys actively engaged in extortion. Or, you know, protection rackets. For money.
Does his talisman just get warm whenever Gato walks by him?
going off like a howitzer all the time. Basically, all night long. This is, what is that noise? Oh, it's Flashheart's talisman.
God, was too close.
Mhm.
So what do we want to do?
Like I said, at this point, try your charm, your wit, whatever. See if we can get them to let us onto their turtle to find specifically what we're looking for.
Okay. All right.
Well, you may not be able to afford a group of slaves, but that doesn't mean you can't pretend to be able to afford a group of slaves.
Right. Exactly. That's what I'm going to do. All right. I go talk to them and say I'm interested in seeing what you guys have.
Oh, buyer. So we're purchasing here. You want to talk to sales.
Where are they?
So you want to talk to Draghixo? He is at the turtle. Just go right around here. Follow the path. You can't. It's a giant turtle. You can't miss it. It's just right through there. Just go through there. You want to talk to the guy's name is Draghixo. He handles all the sales for us.
Is he at the head or the tail of the turtle?
He's gonna probably be at the head. He's a dude, part snake, very weird looking.
Gotcha. All right. So yeah, we'll head up there.
Okay. All right. So you go back there, and it's like as you walk between sort of behind the booths at the flesh markets, it's sort of like being backstage at the circus. There's a lot of action. There's a lot of freaky looking creatures going all over the place. A few clowns, and various kinds of things. But yeah, I mean, as you walk through here, you're just shocked at the callousness of the commerce that goes here.
Well,
yeah, it's a giant.
Walking through here kind of like I own the place. I'm trying to ignore everything around me. I'm here to do something, and so
Okay.
I'm trying not to.
Next to you is a drow with an
Gawk and be
armadillo
upset.
on his head.
Yeah, I'm trying not to show that. Yeah, this is kind of not my thing. Can you make Storm 10 by 10?
Sure. Is she shrinking?
Well, no, she's always been large, which is 10 by 10. Now she's 15 by 15. That doesn't come until 13th level.
Oh, okay. I can't. It's not letting me grab her. Hold on a second.
Over,
Oh, there you go. Okay.
No, I'm on the right layer. It's just being a little finicky turd. Okay, there we go. All right, I'm gonna go change her on the other page too, so I don't do this again.
So I'm just going to start coming to walk past these people.
Okay.
Is all this stuff up here? Can you walk on it, or is it only the wood-looking parts?
Just the wood-looking parts.
Platforms and nets. You climb up the nets to get to the other platforms.
Yeah, so the net is basically covers the top of the turtle. Remember, turtles are sort of round. So underneath there's a net that sort of holds up the platforms, and then there's infrastructure on the rounder parts of the turtle that sort of hold everything up level. So it's kind of like a palanquin almost on top of a turtle.
Okay.
But yeah, in the middle of the planks, where you see the wood planks and things like that. Yeah, that you don't want to necessarily go in there because it's like that netting. It would be like, again, like a circus. It would be like falling off the tightrope. You know how they have those nets that catch people. Now they're not as far down, but yeah, you'd be.
So I have to go.
You wouldn't get killed, but you would be stuck, and you'd have to probably have somebody get a rope or something.
Difficult terrain.
So I have to go up here and then go up this plank right here to get over to this guy.
Yeah, you see a lot of these guys. Now they're all dretches, but it's basically slaves are kind of like humping around, and you see, they're doing various tasks. This guy takes notice. He sees you come up, and he's like, he sees you come up the stairs. He's especially interested in your drow companion who has an armadillo on his head, which sort of makes the whole sort of stern visage kind of like, it's like, is that an armadillo?
I'll look around as soon as I see him and probably make eye contact, but then I start walking around and walking straight to him.
Okay. These guys sort of get out of your way. They kind of like shuffle off, and he comes forward. He's like, yes, how may I help you? Can I help you, good sir?
Does anyone else come with me, or are you guys all staying down there?
I'm going to try to whisper to Bardos and ask him if he can make Siggy invisible.
Sure. So when I get there, I'm going to tell them I'm here to buy some slaves.
Oh, excellent. We sell
But,
slaves here, so you've come to the right place. Perhaps we typically sell in groups of 20. Do you have some sort of particular need that you're looking for? For example, a mining concern, or what sort of work will they be doing that help us allow to build you a bundle for you?
I'll just say agricultural, but in that group, I need to have some priests as well.
Priests. We do have a priest or two we can bundle with them. Obviously, they come at a bit of a premium, but we'll be able to negotiate that. Will these slaves be transported back to the prime material plane?
Not immediately, no.
So this is an abyssal operation. Excellent. That makes the logistical elements handle. We typically don't handle logistics, but we can in arrangements for new customers. I don't recall ever having doing business with you, or frankly, any members of your race. So it's a real pleasure to make your acquaintance. My name is Draghixo, and he puts out this like little crappy hand to you. He's like, and who might I have the pleasure of addressing?
Let's go with
Drezen, House Banray. You know it. I know it. We're all there.
Okay, we'll go with that again.
All right.
Last time.
Excellent, Mr. Duorden. Mental Baranzan, I assume.
Yeah.
I have never been there, but I've heard such lovely things about the place.
You should come visit me there and ask for me.
No, I doubt that my business will ever take me there, but should it happen, I will definitely come see you. In any event, agricultural, we specialize. We have many types of agricultural workers, and I'm assuming that you will want them to be fairly docile so that you don't have to worry about any escaping or anything like that.
Right.
We have taken to assure you that this will not be a consideration for you, because we have taken the preliminary steps of lobotomizing each of our hominids to make sure that they are quite docile and will follow orders to the letter, especially simple ones. In some cases, their intellectual capabilities have somewhat diminished, but we find them to be much more docile. Now, for a priest, in this case, will the priest will be required to do any sort of magic use or healing or anything like that? Is that what you're looking for from a medical standpoint?
So
They're not lobotomized.
They're not helpful to me.
I'm a bit saddened to say that all of the stock that we have currently on hand, even the priestly case, has been modified for docility. But it's possible I might be able to find you something suitable as part of a package. Could you how many bundles were you thinking? A bundle being 20
just one for now. We'll see what kind of stock you have.
Just the 120. All right. Well, we can certainly put that together for you.
But my client is very interested in the priest, so I'd like to see the priests you have. I want to check them out before we buy.
Well, we could certainly do that. I'll be honest with you, though. I can't vouch for their ability to channel energy or anything the priests do.
Right.
As you know, we prize ourselves in providing docile, sentient animals for agricultural and mining work, for manual labor. Once you've had to deal with a slave uprising on a remote area, you never forget that you have to make them. You have to make sure that all of their leanings have been essentially erased.
Glad Lothar's not up here, because he would have already had to be making will save. Yeah, Illendar's trying to keep his anger from coming up to the surface.
Well, I think
he's basically going to get short with him and say, "Look, I want to see the priests."
All right, let me see. And he kind of looks around. Where is that errant priest? Oh, there he is. He's over there by my sister. Let's if you could please follow me. And he starts to walk across here.
I'm going to turn around and yell back to Lothar. And I'm going to do it.
What do you yell?
In a tone. Well, Lothar knows the act.
Lothar!
I'm going to do it in a tone as if someone's calling to an underling. Lothar, need you up here now.
Was Bardos able to make the bird invisible?
Yep.
So he's going to do. Siggy's going to be invisible.
Okay.
So he's doing flight recon, looking for Sivar.
Does Siggy know what Sivar looks like? Did you have Siggy when you were with Sivar?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
And then I'm going to move up because I've been called.
Okay. So
And
you come
basically,
up there.
as he gets close, I'm going to make sure it's loud enough so the guy hears. I'm going to basically bark to Lothar. I need you to check these priests out and see if they're what we're looking for. But like I said, I'm making sure to keep a tone of, you know, master servant thing.
Yeah. Are these the droids you're looking for?
Yeah, exactly.
He knocks this guy out of the way. This guy rocks into this
And
pavilion.
yeah, if anyone else wants to come up, they're more than welcome. He didn't
So,
say that, but
Lothar, as you come through here, you see a variety of different creatures: tieflings, a couple of demons, some dretches, some humans. They all seem to be very, you know, they're just sort of. The first thing that comes to your mind is that they're sleepwalking around. They're just sort of performing very menial tasks. They're sort of wandering around. One thing that does catch your eye. Give me a perception check.
Is this something magical healing can fix?
All right. So
Possibly.
you are walking across there and you see Illendar and Storm sort of following these guys, and you look over into the central area, and there's one particular creature that looks quite a bit different from everything else. It's this guy, and he's just sitting there in the middle. It looks like a child, a human child, but not like any child you've ever seen. Skin is dusky gray and black veined, its eyes pure white, and it does seem to evince a particular intelligence. It's just kind of looking around, sort of things. It looks at you, your eyes lock with it for a moment, and then it looks away and continues to look around. You can see it sort of looking up in the air too. And it kind of like does that, but it's just like a weird looking little kid.
Does it seem to be seeing Siggy?
You're not sure. It is looking up in the air. Mostly it's looking around at the various creatures that are sort of wandering about. But it does a couple of times looks up in the air and is kind of looking around. It's possibly seeing Siggy or looking for Siggy.
Okay.
And
All right.
Bardos see Illendar from where he's at, or is that area raised?
No, you can see Illendar. He's kind of far away.
probably starting to go over the other side, though. Like I said, you guys all want to start making your way here.
Come along, Mr. Dwar. I wanted to introduce you to my sister.
Okay.
This is my sister, Alorexia. And she just kind of looks at you, and this tongue hanging out, and these jewels on her head, and she's just like, ooh. She doesn't say anything. You see her tongue just kind of. She doesn't speak that much, but she's excellent with the numbers. She handles the books for us. This is Mr. Duorden from the Prime Material Plane. He points out Illendar. He's come here looking for slaves for an agricultural project that he's working on. I like to introduce the business. We run a family business here, so obviously my sister's involved, and my nephew over there on the other palanquin. He's our head of security, and he does all the work to make sure none of our stock manages to escape. Anyway, come with me. Let me show you the priest. So he walks past her, and he says, "Well," and he grabs this guy up. So this guy's really big, and you see he kind of like his tail comes up, and he sort of wraps around this guy, and he lifts him up by the torso, and he's sort of lifting in the air, and the guy's like, and he's like, "Well, here's the priest." Like I said, I can't vouch for his ability to cast any spells anymore, because frankly, our process scrambles their brains quite a bit. But this is the one we have. If you want to, do you want to examine him a little more closely? And he sort of like plops him down over here. The sister has grown bored, so she kind of moves off over here. There seems to be a place over here where you can see that there's like a little palanquin with a desk underneath with papers and stuff, and you see her sort of like dealing with that.
So
here he is.
Basically, look back at Lothar and say, "Is this one of any use to us?"
It's not Sivar.
He'll nod his head. No.
But you do see, and it's not Ulfin either. But
Right.
you do see he does have the mark of a rastal tattooed on both sides of his neck.
Ooh. Now what do you do?
Well, I'm
Make a
sorry to
roll
say,
check.
I think that's the only Aristelia, the only priest that I have here.
So have you sold any recently? Do you have any coming in?
Oh, that seems a little suspicious acting like that.
Well,
No,
I
it's like-
do.
I really
Do a
I need
bluff
to
check.
please, but I need to have some of them. What's that?
Do a bluff check.
Can I make a comment out of game there?
Sure.
Sure.
Take this. If there's a possibility to heal this person, or at least get his mental capacity back. If there was another Iomedaean around, not Iomedaean, other Australian around, he'll know. And he might. It depends, I guess, when he was lobotomized, of course, but I would think he would be your best witness. But okay, go ahead with what you're doing.
Lies like a politician.
I like macros.
Okay. What was the question? It was like other priests, right?
Yeah.
I don't think we have any other priests in stock right now. We've had them in the past, but honestly, we don't typically segregate them based on their capabilities or things when they show up. We like to, as I say, homogenize our stock to make sure that they're all the same to us. You know, I'm sure you understand. And who's this good sir? You must be a prime material planar person yourself. He's talking to you, Lothar.
Oh, because I walked up to the priest?
Uh-huh.
Yep.
Now, it's not Sivar, but you said that he's marked by
He's
a
marked.
rascal.
He's got Aristelian. You recognize him. Now they're weird. I mean, they're stylized versions, but they're definitely Aristelian symbols, and they're tattooed on his neck. You don't know where this guy might have come from. He doesn't look like him. He's certainly not an elfin.
No. Well, that doesn't necessarily matter.
Hello, my good sir. And he puts his hand out to you. Are you a friend of Mr. Jordan? An associate?
Yes, an associate.
Oh, that's such a pleasure to meet you. My name is Draghixo. And yours?
Lothar.
Doesn't matter.
Lothar. That's a pleasant name. I like that. I've
No,
always
I want him
wanted
to know my name because I'm about to burn him to the ground.
I've always wanted to visit the prime material plane. I've heard that the herds of stock there are just immense. Whole cities filled with humans, and I think they're called dwarves. And I've heard good things. I've seen pictures of. I think they'd be called halflings, they're small, right?
So do I see the veins popping out on Lothar's head?
I don't know. Perception check.
Oh, come
Anger
on.
check. Yeah,
Don't,
no, I
don't
don't know if
roll a
Lothar
fumble.
is Lothar getting mad?
Yeah.
Getting upset.
Yeah, Lothar's getting
I
upset.
see everything. I'm gonna look at Gatto and say, it looks like we're gonna do business here. Can you go get the others quickly?
Yeah, Patrick, let's go.
I say yes, sir, in undercommon quickly, and go get the others.
So I've heard so many good things about the.
And I
you know, I'd love.
put my hand on Lothar and say, we've got the hired help coming.
Come on, guys.
Be
I
patient.
stand here and yell in
This
common.
does not seem like a good plan.
No,
I'm happy to be
There's no
part of
plan
it.
here.
You have to be.
I'm happy to be part of it.
it's
Yeah,
me
this
trying
plan sucks, and I'm happy.
Lothar from just
I love this plan.
the
I'm
three of us up
excited to
here.
be part of it.
Well, Mr. Lothar and Mr. Jordan, I'm very sorry that this priest didn't work out for you. I'll just throw him back in the mix, and we'll. You were still interested in the 20-pack?
Yeah, and I start pointing back behind him just to get his attention away from everyone else who's going to be coming up.
All right. Well, you see him sort of his tail reach out, and he grabs up this guy again, and like lifts him back up. And you see the guy's like looks like the life is getting squeezed. He's like, "All right, you go on, back to work." And he sort of like tosses him off to the side. He sort of lands very heavily on the boards and sort of begins to slowly pick himself up. I'm sorry we couldn't help you with your specific needs, but I trust that this will not negatively impact your ability to do business with us here and in the future. I'm always looking for new customers and new opportunities, and with you being prime materials, even though your business efforts are here in the abyss, it sounds like, if you were in the market to import, I might be able to be of great use to you.
Flash art, you're in the net unless you fell off the plank.
Where? Oh yeah, sorry.
What are you doing on the net?
Yeah.
You're still on the net.
So, Flash, this guy's looking right at you, and he's following your every move as you walk across there. This little dark-skinned, gray-skinned, black-veined, white-eyed child, and he's watching your every move. He's just like, doesn't blink, all that kind of stuff. This guy seems to be sleeping. The head of security, the nephews. Yeah, I'm sure you understand. They never seem to live up to the promise. But I
put up my megawatt smile.
And who's this? Oh, another human. I feel so privileged to meet so many primes today. It's so rare.
Give him a little curtsy bow, paladin curtsy bow, whatever.
Do we have Farina and Bardos? Are they with us?
Yeah, Bardos is back on the.
Farina, are you coming?
Well, I meant.
Or she might decide that we're all bloody idiots for being up here. I'm gonna.
That would be smart.
I'm gonna take Lothar aside for a second here. Like, you sure you want to do this right now? There's much better ways to do it later.
So 20 then? Sure,
well, from what I can see, there are 3 protagonists and a bunch of lobotomized slaves.
Well, maybe we buy the slaves before they become
here.
What's that?
And the scary thing right here in the middle.
Well, he's been keeping an eye on things, but I assume
he's probably the scariest.
Slaves.
No, he's definitely. Let's call him out for sure. He is definitely something more than that. He's either a special alarm or their
cook.
Their Cuisinart, yeah.
Or their cook.
Which makes it the most dangerous creature on the map.
Y'all like chicken nuggets? That's what the kid says.
Want some French fries, haters?
Well, obviously, who we're looking for is not here. I would like to kill all of these people. And so...
Kill the slaves? That's so rude.
Not the slaves.
Oh.
So if there is a problem with that and you want to try to stop me from doing that, I haven't done anything yet.
I'm just saying that this is their prime source of income for this town, and notoriety is one thing, but I think this is going to get us the notoriety of that we're not going to be invited back to this area where we need to, to launch our bigger plan.
Where was the paladin who was like, we're going to tear this all down, right?
Oh no,
where'd that guy effing go?
Priorities, my friend. We have several priorities first. Monago first for me. Secondarily, we already got the other priest. Now you want to find Sivar. That's cool, but but I do want to pull a book out, a thing out of Game of Thrones here. We hire the slaves first before we kill their masters.
If I see Flashheart trying to talk Lothar down, I'll put my hand on Lothar's shoulder and say, we can still do business with them later. They will be here.
Yep.
Well, from a Game of Thrones perspective, we currently have a dragon.
Oh shit! Hold on a second.
Hold on. He's out of practice.
Oh, a ranger caught off his guard.
Yeah. Unless you're supposed to have like a dead man switch for that, where you just fall out of your chair, it goes off.
Wait for it.
Oh, I fucked it up.
Is anticipation worse than the actual lash there?
Yes.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I'm trying to ignore this.
The snake's like, why'd your dragon just slap your drow friend?
Quit calling him that.
Calling him what?
Should make him mark off 1 hit point each time it goes off.
Okay, well, if you want to exit this place as rapidly as we possibly can, and formulate a better plan, then I can do that.
Well, what does a bundle cost us? I feel like you've already gone down the road. And
Yeah.
If you will show it now, it's
I'll
going to be hard to.
basically take the route that, okay, the priests that we're after aren't here. How much is a group of 20 going to cost me?
All right, let's see. I have to talk to my sister. Now, we were talking about a group of 20, a single case.
I'll examine some of the.
Full lobotomies.
Yeah, if we
will
don't have any
you need-
useful priests, then we won't need any priests.
Oh, I'm sorry about that. Perhaps if well, we really don't do special orders. I could recommend some places if you think it would be if that's something you're looking for. But in the meantime, you've got one case of 20 lobotomized. Do you need logistics or transport?
No.
Okay. Are there any 2 arms, 2 legs, normal sophonts?
Yeah, let's go with that.
Okay. They're in my experience, they're much better for agricultural work. You want to be able to walk and talks rather than oozes or things like that.
This guy keeps talking. I'm gonna have to pull flash art off of him.
I am going to ask him how much the boy in the middle is. How much is that boy? He looks strong.
So the paladin is asking to buy a boy?
No, I'm just asking about him. That one looks strong over there. I kind of get some information of what this thing really is.
We're edging perilously. Well, I'm not even going to put that in the board.
I don't even want to be up on this thing, but
Hey, wait, that's
say
been
my
acceptable in the Catholic Church for a generation.
I wasn't
so I
going
don't
to
see
say
why.
anything.
I don't see why Iomade would have a problem with it.
No.
All right. So basically, he comes back to you and says, "All right, delivered. Is it a delivery charge? We can transport them to wherever you need, wherever you'll take delivery, or will you take delivery here?
Sure.
You take delivery here. All right. So that would be looks to be 2,250 AGP, and that includes taxes and title and paperwork.
Why don't you pay a down payment now and say we'll be back to collect them later, and then we put the whammy on them.
I don't want to give them any money. We'll just come back and waste them all. Okay, I say, well, thanks. Sorry, the priest thing didn't work out. If we don't find them elsewhere, then with this price, we'll be back here.
All right, should we go ahead? Is there a particular time that you will return and you want to take delivery?
No, I'll let you know next time we stop by.
All right. Well, we can only hold reservations, case level reservations for 3 days.
Okay.
Well, I have much as I enjoy working with you, I have other customers that I have to satisfy.
Yeah, you do that.
Okay. All right.
With that, I'm like trying to put myself between this guy and Lothar, and okay, let's turn around and go back this way now.
Wait. Before you go, I need you to sign an intent to purchase document so that we can guarantee the hold.
Yeah.
I'm not going to sign that.
I'm not going anywhere near that.
Well, it is.
What I'm looking for later, I'm going to purchase there.
It is standard.
I won't do it. But if I don't find what I'm looking for,
Unorthodox.
I'll be back.
But you seem like somebody that I'm going to be doing business with for a long time. So we'll waive the standard intent. I'll hold them for 3 days for you. You come back and get them and bring the 2250 when you.
Hey, Lothar, can you ask about the kid in the middle? Because I feel like he's going to be your problem when we come back here. Just ask if he's, like you have more like him.
Yeah, Illendar, ask him. What about the boy?
Yeah, you have strong farm workers, right?
As I'm doing this, I'll be like, if you don't have a priest that are worth anything, what about that thing up there?
Oh, you mean William? No, he's not for sale. He's part of the staff. Obviously unrelated, but he's an integral part of our operation.
Integral. Okay.
Yeah. William dies first when we come back here.
I'm sorry, what?
Sorry, I was just remembering something from a funny story I once heard.
It was a joke I heard once or something, yeah.
Yeah, and the punchline is William dies first.
Well, we'll see you soon. So remember, I can only hold them for 3 days for you, but we've got a case lot that'll be ready for you to take whenever you return.
Yep.
So
excellent. Allow me to escort you off the turtle.
Okay.
He kind of walks past you, and he's this way. Obviously, don't fall into the net.
Mm-hmm.
So Siggy finishes his rounds and sees nothing else.
No, he doesn't see anybody that looks like Sivar. As far as Siggy's concerned, and he'll extend this to you mentally, he doesn't think he's here.
Okay.
He's certainly not on the top of this turtle.
Well, we can't let him get here because if he gets here, he gets lobotomized.
But yeah, and I was asking earlier, is this something we can magically fix or no?
A heal spell. So there isn't much that a heal spell won't fix.
Right. But that's like a 6th level spell that we
Yeah, that's true. I mean, these guys surgically mess these guys up.
Right.
Well, I mean, you don't know how they did it. There's a couple of ways you can lobotomize somebody. There's surgical, which is, the old ice pick trick, or there is chemical, which in this case would probably be some sort of venom or poison that might do it.
You know a lot about lobotomies, Les. I'm starting to be a little disturbed here.
Well, it's part of my business.
Can you put one of your family members on the line real quick?
It's my business.
I just want to do a safety check here.
He's like, no trust me, they're all here.
Yeah.
They can't come to the phone right now. They're busy.
That voice, you should do that at work tomorrow because it's super creepy.
Hello, everyone. Les, is that you? Yes, it's me. All right, so are you guys leaving the turtle?
It's like your evil drag queen voice.
That's going to be my next character in Age of Ashes. Evil goblin drag queen. All right, so you guys leave? I mean, he's sort of like this way, right this way.
We leave the turtle.
All right, so you guys take off. All right, so what are you going to do now? I mean, are you going to return to the turtle and attack? Or I kind of thought this was going to break out into fisticuffs there for a second.
I really wanted to. Well, let me put it this way. I'm just thinking, do we have any guarantees we can come back to the old slave trade once we take out a slaver? If we don't want to get one of them, we want to get all of them. We want full pandemonium, right? Is that the plan, Lothar? I want to go. I want to go full Ocean's 11 on them, where we hit all of them.
We're not going to be able to get all of them. This is
there's no way that we'll be able to disrupt enough. But
you buy an army of slaves.
Well, one, we don't have the money for an army of slaves.
Not
Two,
yet.
the better idea is to free an army of former slaves.
But not ones that are lobotomized that would be useless.
Right.
Trying to think of the whole Game of Thrones thing. She had something that allowed her to sort of bargain for those slaves. What was it again?
Dragon.
A dragon.
She bought them.
I set that donut up and you just glazed it. I like it.
She purchased the Unsullied.
Yep. And then she gave that dragon to that guy and oops, sorry.
Right.
Oops, sorry.
And then the dragon flame struck that guy and melted his face. Yeah. But she had the thing that allowed her to control the Unsullied, so that was all good.
The rod of rulership or whatever the hell it was.
Pylon of doom or whatever.
The pylon of doom. See, I think it's out in my cul-de-sac right now. All right, so you got up there. It doesn't look like Sivar is here. Maybe he's been here and has already been sold. You're not sure. But remember, this was only one of several different places that had that Felipe was over. It could be that Sivar is at one of the other places.
Yeah,
that you guys haven't checked yet.
And they did have a priest of Erastil, which was the intel that we were acting on.
Right.
It wasn't the one we were looking for.
Well, that creates a bit of a moral quandary for you, Lothar. I mean, you have a priest of Erastil here. You don't know the guy. He's definitely one of yours, but I mean, he comes from a very different place. I mean, you're not sure where he's from.
And none of that matters, which is why I was going to start flame striking mofos. But at the same time, Lothar also has like a 19 wisdom, so he understands sort of not acting on those impulses because we have a bigger picture to deal with. Regardless of how difficult that is, it's still, we have a bigger picture.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
That's what I want to stick to. But once we've fulfilled our missions here, I'm happy to go out in a blaze of glory, sort of freeing out the slaves.
So the flesh markets themselves are enormous. Remember, this is a city of 7 million people whose primary business is multiplanar slavery. Think Wall Street.
Now, is Lothar high enough to have any higher level divination that if we're in the slave market, that has a range that is the slave market, that you could just use divination to kind of pinpoint where he's at?
Well, yeah, I can use the same spell that I used to determine if that was Jesker, which is, I think it's 5th level.
Yeah, it's divination.
Because higher divinations are pretty powerful.
Yeah, and so the higher level divination allows me to ask where the hell did that go. Wait, it's not even 5th. It might be 4th. Hang on.
But if this was an out while we're here, maybe if you've got one of those memorized, maybe we could kind of zero in on this isn't him. Where is he from here, kind of thing, to kind of narrow.
So the divination spell, which is 4th level, is the same one I used before. So it can provide you with a useful piece of advice in reply to a question concerning a specific goal, event, or activity that is to occur within 1 week. So yeah, that spell would be one that I could say, I want to locate Sivar. Where is he? And I might get a useful piece of information provided the roll is okay.
Yeah, it's doable. I mean, you could do it here. I think probably. I mean, there are places for people to sit, and cafes and food carts and stuff like that serve the flesh markets. And there are also places nearby that if you don't necessarily want to get a cappuccino while watching, bondage.
Right?
Hey, that came out wrong. I meant human bondage, not bondage.
Phrasing.
Yeah, good. Good
Gonna have
clarification.
I'm gonna have to erase that from the tape, I think.
So yeah, I could cast divination.
Have like a Nixon tapes blank in your
And it would
It's just like
water
beep.
it would sort of be the one question about where do we need to go to find Sivar. And
Okay.
I have an 80% chance of getting a good answer, but I'll know if I fail.
Yep. You want to do that?
Well, do we have the intel that was given to us by Felipe?
Yes, I'm going to type that all up and send it to you guys this week. I was supposed to
Okay.
do it last week and I didn't, but I will this
Because
week.
he gave us like 5 possibilities, I think.
Yes, 5 possibilities. You want me to just go through them real quick?
Well, no, I mean, we're running out of time. It's almost 11 o'clock, but I'm thinking we'll take those 5 possibilities and I'll somehow sort of word that into the question to get a better direction next time.
Okay.
So we didn't get to a scrap this week, and I just want to ask everybody: does this mean we're maturing as players and problem solvers, or are we losing our edge?
You guys are losing your combative edge. You're going to forget how to fight.
Can't we all work this out, guys?
No, I think just to meta for a second, I think, there's a lot of different options I'm throwing at you guys. So it can be a bit overwhelming. I mean, I think that you guys are doing pretty well is gathering information, getting more accomplished, figuring out the lay of the land, figuring out how you want to handle things. You managed to get Jesker Helton back, which was good. I mean, you're accomplishing the things that you want to accomplish, and you're not. And as the turtle incident shows, you guys aren't like rushing into combat every 2 seconds. You're saying, "Look, we're going to bide our time. We've this guy's now on our list of people to ultimately destroy, but we're not going to do that today. We're withholding. It does. You don't have to jump into every fight."
Yeah, and I'm serious too. Flashheart's happy to once we've accomplished using this here, he feels like he's accomplished a lot of his personal goals. He's happy to go out in a blaze of glory, trying to release as many slaves as possible.
Well, if you guys are going to do that, I mean, you have to get an idea of the size and scope of the flesh markets, right?
Exactly.
So it's a huge city. Its primary business is this. How many people work on Wall Street? Thousands.
Well,
and that's
now
kind
it's
of
like 12.
Well, yeah, they're all at home, but it's that kind of thing. So there are literally hundreds of buying and selling pavilions, and most of there are warehouses. The whole area is so it's basically one long street, right? The flesh markets aren't a spot; it's more of a street. I'm just going to go to the city map here for a second. So you see the flesh markets are right here. So basically, it's let me crank this up, crank up the volume here. So if you look at the southern city, here is the flesh markets, and essentially it's right by this body of water here, but it's essentially this street right here that goes through here. This is the flesh markets. Is this, and I might pardon my drawing, but this area right here is the flesh markets proper, and this street is essentially lined with shops and records places and buy sell areas and pavilions and hawkers and stages where they're selling and buying, and it's all these different places all along the street, and behind that, backing these places up, are warehouses and other places where they're keeping places, and it's just this commerce that goes on all the time in the slave trade. This represents, I mean, if you look at the scale of the map, each square is, I believe, a quarter of a mile.
Mhm.
So this is probably a half a mile's worth, a little less maybe, I would say half a mile's worth of street that is devoted entirely to slavery and the buying and selling of slaves. If you guys, and I love this idea that you guys are going to, when you go out in a blaze of glory, you were going to do something here.
Not volunteering anybody else. I'm just volunteering Flashheart.
That really causes problems. But you're right. It is an Ocean's 11 kind of operation, and just speaking as a DM, I'm very, very curious to see what you guys have planned, because I think that would be awesome to see what you guys do to sort of like make a shitstorm down in the flesh markets.
I think not only we'd have to know how to overwhelm them, but we'd have to know who the first responders are who would be there to try to quell unrest, because we'd have to stymie them wherever they are now, which might be hard when you have teleporting demons. But
well, I think a lot of people. So I mean, there's no such thing in the city as like police, right? It's not. There's no regular like keeping the peace, which is why everybody's. But Nauticula does have a sort of enforcement group. I mean, what you've learned here is that essentially, if you interfere with commerce in any way that hamstrings the ability of this city to thrive, that's when you get a visit from these guys. But other than that, I mean, it's what you can hold. That's why syndicates exist. That's why cart guys have banded together to pay protection. That's why the flesh markets are protected. You do also know that, at least in part, the Carano demons who run the water taxis are also sort of, they may not be part of this force that Nauticula has, but they definitely have the contract with Nauticula for all waterborne carriage. So if you're moving something across the water in Alushinyrra, you're hiring a Carano demon. So they have a guild there. They have a license. Now it may be that part of that license is that these Carano demons have to sort of step in when Nauticula says these guys are getting on my nerves, and Carano demons are no joke. So that would make a certain kind of sense, but you have no evidence to this case except for your idiot DM speaking on it.
Have a little more drink. Let's tell us more.
I'm having a delicious Diet Coke.
No, we'd have to plan this out. We'll have to map it out of what we have to do to make this happen.
And I would love to know. I mean, honestly, I don't want to know until you guys spring it on me. I want to see how the plan works.
All
So
right.
the next time, just to give Les a heads up, are we going back to the drawing board? Or are we going to start with the arena?
Well, so I'm going to send you a whole bunch of information, various kinds of things, so that'll help you make those decisions. So we got a couple of weeks. I'll get that to you in the next 48 hours or so. And I'm sorry, go ahead.
I think what's her name has got pushed up the list too, because we know there was a clock ticking. If we don't deal with her now, we're gonna, she has the potential to hire more assassins. So
it makes sense. Or maybe and frankly, maybe she ups the bounty to Nazarius. Nazarius didn't look like any joke, and he had help.
Yeah,
he had those cactus guys and a couple of those watercrafter guys.
Yeah, Don, you missed that part too. When we were having our sit down, we'd had Farina and some of the others like sneak into the square early to set up as bystanders nearby to give us cover, and it became pretty clear that he had like 4 times as many guys in the square as we did.
But that meeting went well, so I mean, everything worked.
We're all friends. We're
all pals here.
Yeah.
Paladin. It's like the Odd Couple. He's a paladin of Iomade. She's a fey demon who assassin. Together they fight crime.
Yeah, that's just like the Odd Couple.
What happens when they share a room and get real?
No, they don't just share a room. They share a room in a living house.
No, that happens when we put them together in a living house. It's my turn in the bile duct. No, it's not.
All right.
All right, you guys want to stop there?
Sure.
Yeah.
Interesting things afoot. I know it was a lot of chatty Cathy stuff today, but I'm sure that at some point very soon we will.
We got a
get
very
into the
important thing
mix.
done.
You did. So the recovery of
Check out the
Jesker Helton is huge. Massive experience point bonus, frankly, for those guys involved directly in that, especially Lothar, who got it done. And it proves the idea that you guys are able to come to this city and retrieve people of note.
And when we go back for the collection money, that'll be the second thing we've gotten done.
That'll be the second one, yeah.
And when the authorities are picking through the rubble of what was left of the flesh markets after we've made a successful raid, they're just going to find, Illendar's fake house, drow house, claiming credit.
I'm envisioning it like some CSI demons who are like, well, this looks like an explosive device made by a paladin of Iomade. Where are those primes that were staying at the Worm Empire a couple of weeks ago?
This person looks smited.
Yeah, he looks smited. This person looks like
some
this person
nerdy
looks-
tiefling tech. He's got a big thing. He's like, well, this is an unmistakable look of a smiting.
this one only had a small dagger wound, but he bled over 40 rounds and was not able to kill.
It's like you got him right in the right spot, and all of this. Look, there's like 40 quarts of blood on the ground.
And, I think Freena's after going to go full Hawkeye on them.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I can absolutely see that. All right, so we will resume in 2 weeks, and I will get you a bunch of information on all of the different options, all of the different things that have happened, and a timeline too, so you guys have an idea of where you are. So this was the sixth. For several of you, this is the sixth day, or nearing the end of the sixth day in Alushinyrra. So all this in under a week. Very good.
Yay.
I shudder to think of what your next week 2 in Alushinyrra brings. And send me those Arushale questions.
Okay, we'll do. Eric,
All right.
hang out for a sec.
Me?
Yeah, you.
All right. All right.
That means Les, you gotta hang out too, otherwise we.
Yeah, I'll hang out. I gotta pee. I'll be right back. But the rest of you, I will see in a week or so.
Yep.
Sounds good.
What was it?
Be right
Plan B? What's next week?
It's B team next
Right,
week.
team next week.